Hello, Cybees! It's Wednesday, which means it's time for art! Which, I still haven't finished these pages, because I maybe got a little distracted drawing this instead, which took longer than I anticipated, as always. I was just supposed to do a nice abstract painterly thing, and then of course I couldn't help myself hyper-detailing. This is why I'm the slowest artist in the world. I'm such a perfectionist. But yes, I drew art for No Man's Sky's 10th year anniversary, which only I care about, but I don't care. I've No Man's Sky pilled a few people in my audience, and there's a big update coming for the 10th year anniversary, so... And I am, in fact, a launch player, believe it or not. My name in the game is literally Psy. I got the damn game at the midnight launch and was playing that night.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. Got my last 2 wisdom teeth out yesterday. Tax.
I hope you're doing alright, Miss Jasmine. When I got mine out, I got all 4 out at once, and like 2 of them were impacted, meaning they never really came in. So they had to dig into my gums for those, and oh boy, I was loopy for a few days. I think I was saying I played most of GTA San Andreas on Vicodin, which is why I barely remember it. You can tell how long ago I got my wisdom teeth out. But yes, this is my purple robot who I play as.
Sent a super chat. But say it with your nose instead of mouth.
I mean, I still kind of use my mouth there, but do you think people can speak through their nostrils? Also, somebody asked for donuts, and since Billy Donuts isn't here, obviously, what happened? Oh, that's just the impact sound. Why would you let me throw them? Damn it, I ruined my own timing as usual. There we go.
Time to make the donuts.
I gotta make sure we have the donuts. I just played the one hit sound by accident.
Excited for life for an 8328 cent tax. Imco AHHH. Oh, hey Olivia.
Ah! Oh, hey Olivia! But yeah, so I'm pretty proud of it. I did this kind of backwards from how I normally do art. Like I kind of did like lightly trace a screenshot first because I am not good at robots or inorganic material. So I did that, then I laid down the color over those lines, and then I added lines back in, just eyeballing the screenshot as reference. So I just took a screenshot of my character sitting.
At Super Easy Walker sent a super chat. Aloha from Hawaii, and just my luck, my throat is a little swelling at the back. Say aloha.
Aloha! Yes. Well, welcome. Well, yeah, I decided I was gonna throw in some, like, SU hate videos on art streams. Well, Terry, you're a little too much right now. I'm gonna skip to the next song. But, so, the way-
Sunny Leaf sent a super chat. Sigh, my favorite drawer.
It said it takes me like 86 years to come out with something, I know. But, yeah, so, yeah, usually it's very hard for me to draw robots and stuff, so this was a nice experiment. But of course I neglected the Switcheroo pages. Sorry. But, yeah. What else was I going to say? I don't know. I have a bit of a headache today. I've got like a sinus headache again from summer allergies. It's so annoying. But yeah, no, the way we have it now, because I have the Wednesday stream and the Friday stream, I've decided that when I do reacts on Wednesdays, it's going to be related to, like, media, shows, things like that, and then Friday is just anything. So Fridays are, for now, you're not gonna get the Conspiracy Boys and the New Age woo-woo on Wednesdays anymore. That's all Friday content. Any drama content's gonna be Friday content. So, yeah, that's kind of how we're doing it. And there might be some media reacts on Fridays, depending on the topic, but it's like cartoons and stuff, definitely on Wednesdays.
Excited for life for an 8328 sent a super chat. As we watch this, there's a quote that I think can be applied here. They don't like Lily Orchard, but they still talk like her.
Yeah, because, if you don't remember, the person we're gonna cover today is Truff Stuff. And, she had the absolute worst video on, the Vivzy Pop Hate Them is Cringe number 5, the Charlie edition.
Oh no, we have to wait to see free pretty art.
Oh, thank you, Giselle. Maybe I'm a little too hard on myself. I'm like, why can't I do things fast! Damn it! Anyway. So Truff Stuff, last time, had the worst video on Charlie out of the bunch of anti-Charlie videos on the last Hazbin Hate Them stream. She had, like, terrible zoomer editing. She called Vaggie and Charlie Yuri, and called their song fan service, and was just kind of low-key homophobic the whole time. Didn't get we're supposed to be laughing at Charlie when she's hyperactive and making mistakes, and just thought she's supposed to be cutesy to endear to the audience. Didn't think that Charlie's flaws were on purpose, like in the writing. Thought it was a writing flaw and not Charlie being absolutely flawed on purpose and the show saying that out loud. Just no clue, like a lot of these bad media critics, no clue that characters can, like, have misconceptions about the world they're in, and, like, everything they say isn't objective fact. You know, like, I don't understand how people do that these days. Like, well, the character said it has to be true. It's like, well, no, not necessarily. In her video was just, like, so unfunny, while calling Hazbin unfunny, and The Good Place caught strays in that video, too! Like, she was literally out there like, why doesn't this ABC comedy, cover the question of if serial rapists and mass murderers can be, redeemed in purgatory? Like, gotcha show, and it's like, it's a fucking comedy, bitch, you know? It's like, do you not understand genre, or tone, or anything? Like, again, this seems to be a widespread problem these days.
Adbalonic111 sent a super chat. Me drawing G1 Transformers. Smiley face emoji. Me drawing TFP Transformers. Crying face emoji.
Oddly enough, Kaiser hasn't sent me anything yet. This is strange for a Wednesday. Maybe he's busy. But there was a few other items I wanted to go over first. For one thing, I am sending you guys to Celtic Phoenix tonight. They're starting at 6, and they're gonna cover Lily Orchard's insanity about the Sith, because Lily Orchard gets all of her ideas about the Sith from fucking Star Wars The Old Republic, the online game, where you can be a good Sith, quote-unquote. So I'm probably gonna be there in the chat, too, because I want to see this shit. So they're starting at 6. If I end a little early, you're still getting redirected to them. It's gonna be Kaiser Shonen, Twilight Guardian, Celtic Phoenix. I forget who these other two people are. I know I've seen the book guy before. Yeah, this crew is fun. This crew is really fun. And then also, I forgot to mention on my last stream, I have this, you might have seen my ambient electronica playlist. This was, like, one of the first playlists I had on my account because I had no content when I took off by accident. And the other night, I was admittedly rather high, and I was, like, reorganizing the weirdcore songs I've been listening to listen to them in a row, and I ended up reorganizing the entire playlist. So now it's sort of like goes through different genres and moods as it goes on. So if you like my taste in music, you might want to look at this playlist. So it starts out with, like, the jazzy coffee shop lo-fi music, into, like, actual jazz, and then it goes into, like, more like traditional sounding lo-fi, like, from, like, 2018 or so, and then it goes down into, like, the weirdcore stuff, and after the weirdcore stuff, after the weirdcore stuff is this whole section of this weird wizard music I found, which I don't know if it's AI or not, but it has a really nice sound to it. And after that, we go into, like, the jazz hop and the electro swing, and then into the folktronica, and the afro lo-fi, and then just sort of, like, very minimal concentration music, and then some more, like, lo-fi with vocals that is good if you want to feel depressed, but in a cool way. And then, down into, like, the darker music, like dark jazz, gothic, trip-hop, witch house. And then somehow I transitioned that into the feel-good music because of this cute little one right here. And then it's just, more kind of, moody lo-fi. Then down into the breakcore, which leads into, like, this grungy lo-fi stuff. Grungy 90s stuff. Then all this weird experimental shit. And then that goes into, very minimal lo-fi. Down into some, like, darker techno, and then, that transitions into fantasy lo-fi. I don't know why, I think I put this breakbeat album here for a good reason. Like, this transitions well into this sort of deeper sort of demonic, dubstep, and then into, like, weird, dark techno, then into funk, which, transitions into techno, then sort of, space synth, which then goes into trap music. I have a lot of shit in here, guys. Then into, like, some more moody lo-fi, and then into the stuff that's, like, barely music and is more a soundscape. That's where it kind of ends. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Lane's one of my favorite anime. That was awesome music. So, yeah, if anytime I add something to this, I guess I'll just figure out where it fits in this organization. But for whatever reason, I decided, like, to lock in 100%, reorganizing this whole playlist. So, yeah, so if you want, like, some good, and the best part is you can just start in a section and get, like, that mood, and it might transition into something else. So, yeah, if you like my taste in music, you will probably find a lot of good shit through this. And a lot of these accounts have all sorts of other music on them, too. This just happens to be the playlist of, like, my favorites. So you can find all... I love getting music on YouTube like this, because I've found a lot of stuff for the stream playlist that I can play either without getting demonetized or by sharing my revenue with the musical artist, which I love that option. Like, yes, I will share my fucking ad revenue if I can just play music I like. No, I've had to take a few things off the list again. I had to take off Ghosts and Pals. You get demonetized for Ghosts and Pals now. Everybody and their brother is claiming Promise from the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack. Like, there's a bunch of people out there grifting, claiming that song to steal your ad revenue. And it's gotten so annoying I just took it off the list. But I have added a few new things. I've added a few new, like, weird chorus songs that I'm allowed to play. And everything I play I've bought on iTunes, except I think for the Kind Words music. There's a little game called Kind Words where you can just, like, write an ominous advice to other people. It has, like, a really good lo-fi soundtrack. And I bought the soundtrack on Steam and just imported it into iTunes. But everything on here I've bought. No, I think the Katamari music I got for free, because they just don't have the album for sale. If they did, I'd buy it. So I added, like, Disco Elysium music and a few other new things, which I still need to add to the Spotify list. It's because there is a Spotify list of all the music I've played on stream. Anything I've removed, I've kept on there, because, you know, you're gonna hear it in older streams anyway. So, again, if you like my taste in music, there you go. I have it pinned, in the pinned post on my Tumblr. If I could pin posts on YouTube, I would just pin that. It would be great. Because I know a lot of people like the music I have curated.
Excited for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. I think you might like this group called Kive Kive.
I'll keep that in mind, or remind me in the Discord if you're in there.
5674 sent a super chat. Say who would have thought an ounce of liquid will ever fall upon me. Bonus points if you know where it's from and who said it. Smiley face emoji.
I don't know, but... Who would have thought an ounce of liquid will ever fall upon me? No, I don't know where it's from, so I'm just doing my best guess. Anyway, so yes, I'm gonna work on the Switcheroo pages, to the best of my ability. I really do hope I can fucking finish this soon. I have started kind of planning out the next part, at least, on my little iPad. My iPad is like my infinity sketchbook, which is why I bought it in the first place. It's kind of nice. Doesn't, you know, sketchbooks are nice, but they take up a lot of space. So, I got an iPad a little while ago, and I can transfer files between the iPad and, my computer with the Clip Studio Cloud. This is why Clip Studio is a great program. Yeah, the Kikassia stream still exists. It's in my, I don't think you can see it from the homepage, but if you go to the SciStream archive, it's in there. And it's in the channel Awesome React playlist that I just made recently. Yeah, the Kikassia stream, Screenwave, I was trying to fight all the music claims. I mean, it was probably gonna get it demonetized anyway, so maybe I shouldn't have bothered. But, Screenwave claimed the Nerd versus Critic fight, because I was doing the lead up to Kikassia, I was going over all of that. And so they claimed that, I put in a dispute, they rejected it, I put in an appeal, because I had mistakenly just thought it was music they were claiming, and then they did one of those, we're gonna take down the whole stream, if you don't delete it, you'll get a copyright strike, and we'll delete it anyway claim, so I had no choice, I had to delete it. But I re-upload it unlisted, because I just don't want it taking up space in my video section. It seems like we've all kind of, like, had the wind taken out of our sails on the channel awesome stuff, though. I don't know how many of you guys actually even want to continue watching me react to those. I mean, I'll keep putting them on the poll, but it's not the most popular thing, so... Whatever. Let me just double-check Discord. Nope, Kaiser hasn't gotten to me, so I'm just going to continue stream now. So, as I said before, Truff Stuff was the person with the worst Charlie video on the last 50 Pop Hate Them stream. Oh, it was Futurama. I knew that sounded kind of familiar. But, yeah, it was, yeah, is that the same one where it's like, Leela's like, there's no place like, I want to be a witch. That's her last wish. Yeah, good shit. So I guess we'll watch, the shorter one first, the 5-minute one of, why did Rose sacrifice herself? And the thumbnail says coward. So, okay. Maybe, but you know, maybe this person won't be as ridiculous about Steven Universe as they are about Hazbin. I don't know. So, you never know, because Hazbin makes people crazy, but I have said that Hazbin Hotel hate is just Steven Universe hate, reheated in the microwave. It always seems like shows with gay themes actually made by LGBT people get the most scrutiny and the most hate from supposedly progressive cartoon fans. Okay, you like Rose Quartz, so that's good to know. So let's go.
Ah, the lovely Rose Quartz.
Oh,
Tragic
lovely.
lost love, turned problematic dead mother, turned interstellar rebel, turned tiny pink despot throughout the course of the show. When it was revealed that Rose was Pink Diamond the entire time, the fan base was more conflicted than ever about whether this tragic figure was such a good character after all, especially considering the impact her choice to give up her own life for Steven's has had on her nearest and dearest, Steven included. The main series and its spin-off really focus heavily on just how much trauma poor Steven has gone through. Trauma he would not have faced, were it not for his mother leaving all of her baggage to him. So why—
Well, he wouldn't exist if she didn't give birth to him the way she did. I mean, we don't know if Rose could have had, like, just an actual fully human child or not, but, like, basically, if Rose didn't have Steven the way she did, we wouldn't have a fucking story. Because I think a lot of the unanswered questions around Rose are kind of primarily because, really, they just need a reason for Steven to have a magic gemstone in him. And, this is what they went with. I think it's okay for Rose to be ambiguous, because like I always say, much like Steven, we are never gonna fully know what Rose was thinking, or what her motives were, because Steven can't ever fully know her, so neither can we, the audience, you know? But yeah, like, yeah, if she didn't do that, Truff, he wouldn't fucking exist. So, like, you know.
did Rose choose to sacrifice herself to make Steven? Is there a defense
She
of her
wanted to be
character
human.
there? Let's look at some
She
reasons.
wanted to be human.
I'm going to become half of you.
Rose was truly taken with the idea of organic life, just as a concept. And practically, Steven needed Rose's gem in order to survive as his own sovereign human-gem hybrid, the first of his kind. Though why Rose chose to create life in this specific way is unclear. If Rose can create a fully-fledged half-human, half-gem, you could argue that she could have just created a human and continued to exist. But perhaps even as a diamond, there was some
Well, again, but then we'd have no plot and Steven wouldn't have magic powers. I mean, the boy child having the magic powers is kind of the conceit of the show. He is in the title, and, you know, whether you like it or not, Cartoon Network wanted a boy lead, so the show worked out the way it did. I mean, Steven's a great character, though.
Essence of human life that she would have been missing.
Even if
just
I-
like when
even if
Steven
I
is trying
wrest
to
the
revive the
point of
corrupted
view out
and
of his
shattered
hands in
gems
my
and needs the essence of
fan
the other
comic.
diamonds. That's just conjecture, though.
Did you make me just so you wouldn't have to deal with all your mistakes?
Subconsciously, perhaps she also wanted to get away from her problems. I really don't think it's right to call her a villain in the same way your Jafars and Toffees are villains, because she doesn't do this out of malice. I think she leaves Steven, the crystal gems, Greg, and the diamonds with all of this baggage out of pure negligence. I'll talk more about her—
Well, I gotta agree with that. It is negligence. Rose very much discounts herself. She doesn't really, like, she hates herself so much she doesn't realize how much she means to other people. And she has a very, avoidant personality when it comes to conflict because of, you know, how she was brought up by the other diamonds. So, yeah, so I guess it's not so bad so far. I'm waiting for the crazy to start.
her nature as a diamond in just a second, but Pink Diamond specifically, being the youngest diamond, has been frequently shown to be the most immature. Rose is a starry-eyed idealist with little regard for consequence at her best, and at her worst, she causes untold damage. We don't see much of her interpersonal relationships compared to the other main cast characters, but from what we see of her talking to Greg especially, she seems truly detached. Unintended consequences of her behavior and choices just don't seem to register unless painstakingly spelled out. This makes her relationship with Greg difficult.
I'm not.
Yeah, but it's also, like, why she ultimately fell in love with Greg. He would call her out on her shit. He didn't, like, worship her like so many other people. Like, that whole conversation they have where he's like, "Did you just talk to me for once like a person?" You know, like, I bet nobody's ever fucking said that to her before.
Real person.
And lastly, Rose is also a diamond, one of an alien ruler class who, as we've seen from her own comments and the other diamonds,
She's
simply
also the
cannot
lowest
quite
rung of
grasp
them.
what a human is, or what it is for someone to be her equal. The other crystal gems struggle with human behavior too, especially early in the series, but none so much as Rose. We see time and time again how what a gem is designed for influences their behavior for all time. This is even more obvious with the diamonds. Rose just doesn't understand what being a wife and mother is, and as this alien being and this stuff.
What? I mean, I guess, but do you think Greg would want someone to be a traditional wife and mother? He's not a very, like, traditional guy himself. You know? I mean, Greg is, like, fiercely dedicated to independence. So much so he still lives in the fucking van he ran away in at 18. It's, like, pathological.
Rose just doesn't understand what being a wife and mother is. And as this alien being and this starry-eyed idealist with no capacity to understand that, she's a terrible wife and mother. She lets Steven and her former crew inherit all of—
What do you mean you weren't technically married? They weren't even married. She's not human. She doesn't fucking have any identification. I mean, spiritually they were, sure, but—
Sent a super chat. No, not again. Why can't these losers leave SU alone?
I don't know, like, even Truff's avatar seems very SU inspired. And at first the video was okay, but now it's getting a little strange. My wife's gem!
Steven and her former crew inherit all of her problems, misdeeds, and mistakes, just because of how in love she was with the idea—
Honestly, the show kinda definitely skirts around having two, like, single mothers with children born out of wedlock in the show, which is something they probably wouldn't allow if they had caught on to it, because it's very heavily implied that, Vidalia was never married to Marty, and Sour Cream was a whoopsie baby she had out of wedlock, you know? So they very depthfully kind of give you that information without really stating it outright. So, because it is a children's show, they had to be very careful
of creating a sovereign earthen human life, more or less on a whim. And she didn't give it a second thought. She cherishes life, enough to bubble her broken and corrupted gem brethren on the battlefield, which is unusual for a diamond, and cherishes earthen life even more so. But she's in love at all these fellow creatures, not with. And while that is a lot closer than the other diamonds ever got, it's just not the same. And that makes sense for a diamond. Diamonds aren't—
I mean, that's an interpretation you could have of Rose, I guess. I don't necessarily agree, but I think you can have that interpretation, because she is open to interpretation. That is kind of the point. Because again, Steven is never gonna fully know her, so we're never gonna fully know her, and all we're left to do is speculate.
aren't designed to build peer-to-peer familial bonds, they're designed to rule. So diamond love from this youngest diamond, although unusual, is necessary.
Yeah, Vidalia got married later to Yellowtail and had Onion, but I don't think she was married to Marty.
A bit hollow. Blue and yellow manage to bond in their own way, but they're the only diamonds on the same level as each other out of the four. The way I've talked
Very
about Rose in this
observant,
video
yeah.
makes her sound like an antagonist. Maybe she is. But what I really like about the fact that you can consider her an antagonist is that it feels real when it comes to deceased loved ones who are idolized. You can imagine someone feeling as overshadowed, conflicted, and lost as Steven does throughout the series when it comes to how to view his mother, especially as he learns more about her. She isn't an angel. She chose—
I don't think she ever pictured any of this for her son. She just wanted to become part of a human being, and she, as an immortal being, was kind of fascinated by the concept of mortality, which is kind of interesting, you know?
was to do something that ended up leaving him with all of her unfinished business, and her voluntary absence has left all of Steven's nearest and dearest, all of those he loves, in lasting grief. Her legacy is crushing. So why did Rose choose to sacrifice herself? She liked the idea of making a life, and decided that was worth more to her than what her loss would do to those who knew her. Whether you view Rose as a villain or not largely depends on whether you think—
Because again, much like with her ending the Gem War by faking her own death, she thought her absence would make things better. And then it didn't. She made the same mistake twice, I guess you could say. But it's because she had such little regard for herself because of the way she was brought up by the other Diamonds, with them being hypercritical all the time. Because, like, I like to point out, because it's kind of subtle, and I wish they had done this more. But no, we needed fucking 5 episodes about Lars in Season 5, of course. But, when Yellow and Blue think that Steven is Pink, so they find out that Steven has Pink Diamond's gem. So, in their minds, oh, it's Pink! She's just in this weird, stupid form, and doesn't have any memories, but it's gotta be Pink. There's no way this could be somebody else. Pink Diamond's gem, that's Pink Diamond. So they're relieved that Pink Diamond is still alive in their minds. And what do? By that afternoon, they're already being hypercritical. Steven shows them the corrupted gems, and Yellow's just like, ah, Pink, look what you made us do! Like, they're immediately scapegoating Steven, who they think is Pink Diamond, who they just learned is alive. So if Pink actually was still around, and was still alive, you can imagine this is how they would behave. Like, they would be relieved and overjoyed at first, and then immediately, like, Pink, what were you thinking? Pink, what are you doing? Pink, you need to go back to Homeworld and talk to White. Pink, how could you do this to us? So just imagine, like, that's been her whole life, you know? That
was the right call. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and do check out the rest of my channel for more on Western animation. See you next time.
Okay. Well, the other video's a lot longer, so that was just a little taste. That one wasn't so bad, but it did get a little weird there. Like, she doesn't know what being a wife and mother is, and it's like, technically she was neither, so like,
Stevens5542 sent a super chat. Even in the Human Zoo episode, his reaction to the marriage process is being annoyed by it. At Dana_Brain sent a super chat. Technically Rose didn't have a chance to be a mother. She died so Steven could be born. It's sad. So how can she be terrible? She was dead. At Belonic111 sent a super chat. People miss the point that Rose is not a hero or villain, but a person with flaws and all.
Exactly, like she's been so, like, put on a pedestal to Steven, and he finds out she was just another real person with flaws like everybody else, and that's important. You know, that's part of growing up, is learning that your parents are fucking human beings in their own right, with their own problems and their own flaws, you know? So, but going back to the earlier super chat, I guess people could argue Rose chose to die. Like, she chose to give up her being so Steven could have her gem, because, I mean, it's really hard to fucking kill a gem. You'd have to, like, literally, like, grind them down in the powder. And then even then, we see, like, the cursed ink made of ground up gems in the show can, like, still scream. You know? Really hard to kill a gem for good.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. This video disregards that when Steven was conceived the crystal gems were living in relative peace. Yeah, there were the corrupted gems, but I don't think Rose ever thought the diamonds/homeworld would ever come back.
Exactly! Like they thought, well, there's no reason for them to ever come back to Earth, so we're good. Like, even like, Garnet and Pearl are freaking the fuck out when they see signs of Homeworld coming back to the planet. Like, why would they be here? Why now? Why is this happening? We never thought that they would actually come back here. Why are they coming back here? They didn't know about the cluster. They only found out about that because of Peridot. Like, they had no idea that these experiments were still happening on Earth. Because there's only, like, fucking there was only 4 of them managing everything.
At Sawesomeness sent a super chat. Who best Blue Rock? Lapis or Walter White's supply?
Obviously, Walter White's Blue Sky is better than Lapis. Anyway. Yeah, there was one episode where there was, like, a cursed scroll with, like, screaming ink on it. And I think one of the crew said it was made out of crushed up gems. There's so many things you could do. I don't think any gem could pull off reproduction except Rose. Because Pink Diamond's powers intersect with organic life so much. You know, most gems can't even hold, like, a shape-shifted form for very long. So, I honestly think she was the only gem who could possibly have done what she did. And again, it's just there so Steven can have a gem and have magic powers, when you think about it. So, I don't think the details are that terribly important. Yeah, Dio, I'm gonna slander Lapis all damn day long. Especially now that you're here. Take that. So, she does have, like, an earlier video about unconfirmed theories. I might throw that on the pile if this goes by too fast. Or hell, we gotta stop watching videos and chill out until 6 or so, or just before Celtic Phoenix goes on. So, a little bit of a chiller react stream, I guess. It's starting right away. Hang on a second.
At Savage for Life from 8328 sent a super chat. Inco, this user is the opinion basher.
This user is the opinion basher! Olivia! Anyway. You guys are doing the Wani dubs in Kaiser's stead.
What I love so much about Rose is that you can piece together that she's more human than Steven thought she was. Like Buck when she and Greg danced.
Yeah, well, it's like the tragedy when she's talking, the episode where her and Greg are babysitting baby Sour Cream, who just has Brian Pusheen's deep fucking voice going, go go gaga, which is fucking hysterical. But she's talking to Greg about how, for the longest time, she didn't know babies and adults were, like, the same species, because that just didn't occur to her, because, you know, gems are the same their whole lives. And that's what she says, like, gems are supposed to just be one thing their entire lives, whereas humans change year to year, day to day, moment to moment, and she's, like, envious of that. But the tragedy there is Rose doesn't realize how much she herself has changed. In her mind, she's still bratty Pink Diamond. She's an imposter, you know? I feel like she's always had imposter syndrome about her Rose Quartz form. And it's tragic, you know? It's tragic she doesn't realize that she has changed herself and she has become a different person. And she just can't see it, and she can't see what others see in her. That's like how Love Like You is probably mostly about Rose, you know? Oh god, why do so many people skip the beginning? Oh god, what is this art in here? What the fuck is happening? Oh god, oh no. Anyway, Greg Universe is a terrible father. It's gonna, let's see. Let's see what Truff Stuff says about this.
And the rose in the finals and the sugar's good. Little boy Steven, the gem on the moon.
Oh, I see. This is just, we're starting right out with, oh my god, Rebecca Sugar controversies on the internet.
When you're coming home, Greg, I don't know when.
I was going to praise the editing here until that.
But we'll get together then. Greg, you'll know we'll have a good fry then.
Okay. You can go see his
There's been
father
a
any
bit of
damn time he
discourse
wants.
this summer about the ultimate rock lover. A bit of back and forth about after f***ing in a space rock and f***ing her space dictator cunt and f***ing her good and making her out of her.
Why are you just flashing porn at us, Truff Stuff? What the fuck is the matter with you?
Whether or not he did a good job with the outcome. Frankly, I've been looking for an excuse to talk about Steven Universe Future.
Zoomer editing and goonery, those are my two favorite things.
Because that show reframed a lot about Steven and Greg, kind of spoon-feeding the audience a bit about how to look back at and how to feel about Steven Universe, which is something a lot of fans...
Yes, Steven Universe Future was Rebecca Sugar bashing people over the head with the fucking themes they didn't get the first time around, yes! Yes, that is true!
Criticize Steven Universe Future for. I liked it though. But it also helped highlight how questionable Greg is as a father.
Good. No one's home. Wait, what?
Hey, y'all. Greg is taking me to a show. Greg.
Holy sh! I can't respect.
What the fuck is with all this? You know, I'm skipping. No wonder so many people skipped ahead with your unfunny skits. This fucking virgin trying to make sex jokes.
First, are you losing sleep about your privacy online? Well, I'm not, because I use Manta Sleep. They sent me this lush silk sleep mask.
You have sponsorships? After all that, you have sponsorships? Do they know what you put at the start of this video? Alright, so we just had to skip like 3 fucking minutes in.
The video.
Discord! I'm howling at the moon and sleeping in the middle of a summer's afternoon. Discord! Whatever they produce.
Will you make a point already?
Is
God!
Don't worry about your old man. My leg's not getting any more broken.
Now, Greg, there's no need to be so pathetic.
no, I'm kidding. It should be a crime though.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, the one episode that's like a very stereotypical sitcom setup that people get so mad about for some reason. Like, God, this fucking bit has been done in so many shows and so many sitcoms. Why does it make people angry? Like, do you not watch other things? Meanwhile, I get accused of only watching Steven Universe and Hazbin Hotel. I mean,
Ouch!
get on with it!
Have
Yeah, it was a fucking sitcom bit that, yeah, you could say it wasn't very funny, but that's what they're doing.
At Sawsomist sent a super chat. Did you ever see Doug Walker's SU reviews?
Maybe like a long time ago. I don't really remember.
At Skonsan Jem sent a super chat. Greg is a good dad, but he's a flawed dad, never restraining Steven, etc. But Steven, now an adolescent, is feeling envious of the structure his dad had.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, I know somebody's like taking that meme of like the two parents going, we're not gonna fuck you up like our parents did, and then the kid is like a whole new kind of fucked up. And that's Greg and Rose. Like, Greg especially, like, Greg is trying to raise Steven with all the freedom he never had as a kid, but then Steven turns around and is envious of all the structure Greg had as a kid, you know? The grass is always greener on the other side. Like, yes, that is exactly the point that they are making with Mr. Universe. And Mr. Universe is probably the best episode of Future, I would say. That episode is a masterclass in visual storytelling. Like, you can tell everything you need to know about Greg's parents just by looking at the inside of their house and the stuff they have, you know? It's interesting.
At Ed Stevens 5542 sent a super chat. Have they never seen a sitcom before? Come on.
Like, Steven Universe does that sometimes, where they do, like, the very, like, stereotypical sitcom setups with, like, a weird Steven Universe flair on them. It's like when they bring Alexandrite to dinner to meet Connie's parents, you know? It's a very sitcom-y setup, but it's a giant fusion lady.
having no game plan. There's been so much Greg defense along the lines of, it's all understandable really, and I wish my dad was like him, and that's just not correct, is it? In line 3, return to video, Steven discovers a tape.
Your personal opinion is just not correct because this little British tart said so.
which Rose and Greg both address their unborn child, and Rose explains that once Steven is born, she will cease to exist. Greg is therefore aware of this.
Oh my gosh. I never thought I'd see this again.
I mean, him and Pearl share that line together saying, you know, Rose, she always did what she wanted. You know what? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet Rose, like, started the pregnancy and this plan to, like, not exist anymore without telling him first and just announced it one day? I mean, I wouldn't put that past her.
This line to mean that he's seen the tape before, and presumably knew what he was being filmed for. So even if he was...
Well, of course well, yeah, they filmed it for their baby. Of course they both knew what the video was fucking for. What do you mean?
Wasn't aware when he initially, you know, busted a nut.
We jizz in the gems, and that's what makes
Steven!
We don't even know how the conception happened. We don't know if, like Rose could have done some Asari bullshit for all we know.
Well, where do I jizz?
He was aware for some portion of the pregnancy about single parenthood being on the horizon.
We're just gonna keep making virginal Zoomer sex jokes, hooray!
Why did he seemingly have no game plan?
I've had orgasms! I've had tons of orgasms! I've had one with your mom, dude!
I know Greg's whole deal is that he's an older rock star, a starving artist.
You have snatched the bread from my starving mouth.
And that comes with a little hippy-dippy living for the road mindset. But as Vidalia points out, you can't do that when you're a parent.
You sold out, V.
Gotta grow up sometime.
Children need you to anticipate their basic needs.
Well, Vidalia was a single parent first, so she can clearly give him advice.
Including when they have additional needs, which, in a sense, being half alien, Steven does. Greg also knows that Rose isn't a human. He's painfully aware of this, actually, and it's the source of their first major apparent conflict, in what I think was quite a nice episode.
Oh boy. This is so weird. You really are an alien.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Shitty fucking editing, but this is a very important scene, because like I said, most other humans especially probably treated her like some glorious, you know, godlike being. Meanwhile, Greg will call her out on her shit, you know?
Why are you
God, this fucking Zoomer editing.
But even then, he was also aware that she was the more socially adept out of the crew.
Oh, I really like your asshole. Leave him.
And
she was the more socially adept. None of them are. None of them are. What do you mean? They're fucking aliens. Also, Amethyst was still kind of in gremlin mode right now, because I think she could, like, the movie implies that she couldn't even talk when they found her.
I don't think it's wise to just start this journey of parenthood without making plans to sign him up for nursery, school, and also to make a contingency plan for his gem powers should they arise and complicate.
Look, one thing that is true about Steven Universe is our heroes have never known what the fuck they're doing ever. Like, I said that on last stream, I think, that I love the zoo arc, because that's the point where you go, oh, they've always been fuck-ups. They've always never had a plan, and they've always never known what the fuck they're doing. That's awesome. Yeah, these 4 idiots have never known what the fuck they're doing.
Things a la Powerpuff Girls. Besides, he already knew that Rose's parents.
Also, do you think every set of parents has had a perfect plan for their kids, or even has kids on purpose? You know, raising kids is pretty chaotic and a learn as you go type of thing. You know, I don't think these two are that far off. Also, she's a fucking alien.
Parenting skills were lacking.
Isn't this exciting?
Isn't it great when you edit a joke to be less funny than it was in context? Isn't that great when you do that?
This'll be a formative experience.
And she wouldn't be one to make rational decisions for a human-ish baby in a crisis.
I hate when people say that Lavishly Lavender, because the fucking human zoo is based off of, like, 70s sci-fi. Just go look at, like, fucking Logan's Run or something. That's what it's a send up of.
Even if she was going to be around.
One more thing. Bye-bye, bitch.
Oh my god, you're so fucking
On the
unfunny.
note of gem powers and parenting skills, though, making the gem's parent. As soon as Steven started exhibiting gem powers, Greg figures that it's a good shout to fully hand him over to the gems. But why though? Greg already knew that the
I mean, so he doesn't, like, get killed by magical bullshit someday? You know, he doesn't have superpowers, so, like, he's human and very breakable.
gems weren't exactly equipped to—
Also, Greg was raising him in the fucking van. I think it's a good thing that he moved into a house. You know, don't you?
deal with the complexities of human growth.
You wouldn't believe how long it took me to figure out that this and you are the same thing.
I was just talking about that earlier.
Those would make some pretty good lyrics.
And he even has a conversation with them about this in 3 Gems and a Baby. They don't even know what a baby is.
She just can't reform because she has this—
Well, I think they know what babies are, but they're confused of how Rose is now in this form, seemingly. They are still under the impression that Rose has just turned into Steven, which isn't true, but is a question up in the air for most of the show. Like, most of the show, the big question hanging over Steven's head is he his own person, or is he a reincarnation of Rose with no memories? Like, that is hanging over this poor kid's head the entire fucking show until the very end, which is what the ending is about, if Steven is himself or not. It's not about taking down the Empire or something, it's about him, you know, the main character.
At Dana_Brain sent a super chat. Stop making Greg pick jokes, it's the easiest shit.
I know, like, Greg has so many banger one-liners in this fucking show, you don't even need to edit him.
At Skonsan Gem sent a super chat. There's also a very famous Twilight Zone episode with the human zoo. Tale as old as
yeah,
time.
like sci-fi of aliens keeping humans in a zoo or keeping humans as pets. That's totally been done so many times before. That's also what it's a send-up of.
At Bodydaramedi114 sent a super chat. I grew up on YTPs. This editing is a mockery.
It's like I don't have many points, so I'm just gonna pad out my video with like bad YouTube poop. And hope nobody notices I'm not making a point.
Baby around her. We'll be together again.
They gift him car keys, adult nappies, and a dictionary. If they're that clueless about child rearing, why would you trust that they'd just pick it up eventually and hand over sole custody? Around the time Greg met Rose,
He didn't, though. I mean, again, Steven can, like, hang out with his dad any damn time he wants. We see that. He just goes running over to the van and wakes him up.
Gems, as I've mentioned, were barely aware of what humans were and how their societies worked. A large portion of Steven Universe as a show revolves around all of these aliens being light years from home and not understanding human social norms.
Are you my dad? I need to find my dad.
Art, or technology. A good example of this is Peridot. Maybe she didn't rate Greg's parenting either.
Okay, wow. Aliens learning to become human. Never been fucking done before, right? Right, we're such a narcissistic species. We have to have things that aren't human and that are superior to humans tell us how great we are in our fiction. See, this is why he can't be around gem stuff.
That the gems teach Steven throughout the show that Greg couldn't, he also needed a human family. Say, I don't know, like the DeMeo family. In Gem Harvest, Steven learns a bit about his human family beyond Greg when Andy DeMeo turns up and interrupts everyone's favorite Technicolor Yuri.
I know what you are.
In this little interaction, we learn why Rebecca Sugar probably shouldn't write political satire of any kind.
You're hippies! I heard about—
It's not political satire. I don't get why so many people are so weird about the Uncle Andy episode. Uncle Andy is just written to be, like, a slightly conservative, old-fashioned, benign old coot. You know? Like, you can tell the crew was having so much fun writing his fucking dialogue. Because I love when he assumes hobos have been living in the barn. And then when he sees Lapis and Peridot, he goes, "You hobettes? Hobo's a man's job!" Like, it's my other favorite line where you can just hear him off screen yelling, "What do you mean you weren't technically married?" at Greg. He's a great character. And like so many people are like, oh my god, the character's conservative. Obviously this episode should be tearing him down and showing that conservatives are bad people. Instead it's showing that people with more conservative views are still human beings. What a terrible message. Right? You know, no, Uncle Andy's great. I love him. Again, he's a benign old coot, you know?
Are you on AM radio? What are you doing? Coming in here, socializing this fine American bond.
And also that Greg cut ties with his family, the DeMeos. We also learn that Greg offered up DeMeo family property as though it were just his own.
Who told you you could move in here and
fucking Andy probably hadn't even been there in like 20 fucking years or something. You know? So Greg probably thought it was fine. He's like, nobody's using it.
this whole place up?
I did, Andy.
You did? This is my parents' barn.
No. He's got a point.
Even though from what Andy says, it sounds like it's more a communal family asset, even if no one's used it in ages. I mean, that's not a crime against Stephen, but it's a bit of a dick move.
Well, my family spent a lot of time here too. Once a year.
It's a bit of a dick move for Greg to find a place for Steven's new gem friends to live. Like that's why he offered it up, so that Peridot and Lapis could live there, and so they could not live in the main house and not have to be involved in main plots all the time when we don't want them to be in the show. Probably because they didn't want to pay the voice actors or something. I don't know, like, all these people had contracts to be in a set number of episodes, which is why they kind of just shove Peridot and Lapis off screen sometimes and keep them in the barn. You know, like... Did she say something about Trump? Hang on a second.
Well, my family spent a lot of time here too. Once a year, we'd all meet up here, catch up, eat a big meal, have a good time.
In Gem Harvest, Stephen doesn't really express any reaction to all of this beyond, oh wow, cool, which is par for the course.
Yeah, that's Steven, but the funny joke there, he's like, man, Universe is such a boring name. I wish my name was DeMeo. Steven's just like, he's like Rose, he's excited about everything.
With Stephen, it's one of his two modes. You know what the other one is. But in future, this gets a reframing, because we learn that this has kind of been on his mind. Lovely, understanding kid he is, and with his own perspective.
The only thing I get from my mom's side of the
yeah, Stephen is now 16 years old, has saved the entire galaxy, has realized he is his own person and not his mother, and now he doesn't know what the fuck to do with his life. Yeah! That's kind of natural. He's becoming an adult.
Family is stressed out. Same.
I guess he assumed that Greg cut off his family for a good reason too.
What? You couldn't even marry an American? What does that matter?
But then we get to the episode Mr.
You're calling him a straw man? So are you mad? Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Marry an American? What does that...
Becca Sugar hates him, and are you saying you think Uncle Andy is a political straw man? Do you think they are tearing down the conservative guy and that makes you mad? Is that what you're saying? I'm so confused right now. Are you mad that you think they're making fun of conservatives? That's the opposite problem people tend to have with this episode. What? Again, the whole thing with Uncle Andy is, yeah, he's a bit of a conservative traditionalist and a bit old-fashioned, but he's a very benign old coot who actually cares about people. And in the end, he gives up the barn and is like, is fine with it. He realizes he can let go of the past and forge a new path forward. That's the whole episode. I did joke once, Alex, that maybe if someone ever wanted to do an AU where Steven is raised by his grandparents instead, all you'd have to do is have, like, Greg, like, call up the parents or write to them saying, so guess what? You have a grandson. The mother is out of the picture, but I'm doing well raising the baby in my van. Like, CPS would be out there the next day. You know?
matter?
But then we get to the episode Mr. Universe, and the only trauma we get any indication of isn't trauma at all.
You didn't like meatloaf?
Not every Thursday for 20 years.
It couldn't have been that bad.
What do you mean it's not trauma? I mean, there's evidence that his parents forced him to cut his hair, forced him to be in activities he didn't like, had a very regimented, regimented lifestyle for him where he had to do things certain ways and certain times, and like he's saying, the same dinner every night. Like, I'm sure Greg isn't telling his 16-year-old son the depths of his trauma with his parents. But again, it's a masterclass in visual storytelling. There is a lot you can infer about Greg's parents by the environment of the house, more so than what he says. And Steven's a little, incensed. He's like, you said you grew up in a jail! And he's like, it was a jail. It was a prison. Greg, when he was 18, grew out his hair and ran off in a shitty van to become a rock star. You don't do that if you have a good relationship with your parents.
Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes. When the night is over, like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone, gone, gone.
All you have to do is look at the photo of him, standing between his parents, looking very uncomfortable to, get everything you need to know.
Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone when the morning comes.
Steven, it was horrible.
You serious?
It's a Frosty upbringing where he wasn't supported in what he wanted to do, which isn't good, but I don't think it calls for not at least giving Steven the option to meet them.
What's a DeMail?
If he cut off he went no contact with his parents, and then had a son, why would he, introduce them? And also, he's a hybrid alien baby born out of wedlock. Given Uncle Andy's reactions, do you think the rest of his family would be that cool with it?
No contact on your son's behalf is something I think should only be done if you don't think he'd be safe. And this seems more like a bratty tantrum on Greg's part than anything else.
We were in mathletes together. It's just one of the million things my parents made me do.
Greg's
So he had no support from his parents, and they were always trying to fit him into a mold that didn't fit him and made him miserable. And then he went no contact when he, fucking ran away from home when he was 18. So, it seems like this is a behavior people would most of the time support or understand, at least. You're calling him a brat. You said Rose didn't know what it was to be a wife and mother. You seem to be angry that you think conservatives are being made fun of in the Uncle Andy episode, and you were kind of low-key homophobic in your Hazbin video, and I'm putting some pieces together here.
PTSD or whatever, post-traumatic Down syndrome.
I mean, one of his major complaints is that they ate the same food too much and went to the same destination on holiday too often.
My mother will not eat beans because they had beans every Friday when she was growing up, and she doesn't want anything to do with them now. I can't even convince her. Even when I, make something to bring to, potluck, she will not eat anything with beans in it. Even though I try to tell her. I'm like, no, but Ma, kidney beans taste different than black beans, taste different than pinto beans. It's all different flavors if you just try. And she's like, no. I had to eat baked beans every Tuesday growing up, and I don't want anything to do with beans. Yeah, this is a thing some people just have.
Stephen is understandably angry, but a little dismissive towards how oppressive, unsupportive parents could feel.
Oh no.
Well, fuck you, cat peasant. I fucking love beans and legumes and seeds and granola. I think I was a horse in my past life. I love lentils, and I love granola, and I love beans, and I love all sorts of things like that.
Dismissive towards how oppressive, unsupportive parents could feel.
Black beans are the best.
Oh no. Is that my graduation photo? They made me cut it, and it was right before a gig.
But yeah, hiding...
Okay, so at least you know forcing someone to cut their hair is abusive. This is rough, to be fair. You won't say it out loud, though, but yeah, forcing your kid to shave his head when he wants to have long hair, that's considered controlling and abusive, yes.
before a gig.
But yeah, hiding the whole DeMeo family until forced to share something doesn't seem proportional at all to what Greg complains about.
I'm sorry we took over the barn. I didn't even know we had any other family to share it with.
You didn't, huh?
You can't!
And really unfair to Steven, given that they just seemed frosty at worst. He's also a strong enough character.
I mean, yeah, again, you can't argue it's unfair to Steven. I don't think they, like, really cooked up Greg's parents until Future, but you did have the whole Uncle Andy thing. But I mean, these were never going to be recurring characters. It's like another guest star type thing, you know? But I'm a Brit confirmed. I will sometimes have beans on toast, I'm not gonna lie.
In the series, to be able to discern the good or bad will of these people for one, and it's his family too. That being said, I'm not forgetting that Greg's parents left all those letters unopened. If it weren't for this line in Gem Hunt...
But you know what though, also think of the parallels here. Rose also wouldn't have wanted Steven to meet her family. Rose and Greg are both two people who ran away from and went no contact with their abusive family. Greg just happens to be a guy, a regular guy, and Rose just happens to be a fucking space princess. You know? But they are both coming from the same starting point, where they were both repressed in their youth by the people who raised them. And then they ran away and never contacted them again. You know? They both have that. They're parallels of each other. That's probably why they fell in love!
Harvest.
How was I supposed to? I haven't seen you in years!
And whose fault is that?
That was like 2 decades ago!
It might have been possible that Greg had made some attempt to actually rock up and tell them about the pregnancy, or later to introduce Steven after he'd been born.
He did. He did. Because if you watch Mr. Universe, Steven is rummaging around in the house looking for a pen to write an apology note for breaking in because he's Steven. He hasn't realized yet that this is Greg's parents' house, because Greg isn't telling him shit about why they're just breaking into a random second-story bedroom at a random house. So, Steven's looking for a pen to write with, and he opens a drawer, and he sees a bunch of unopened letters from Greg to his parents. He did write them. He wrote them at least like 10 times. And I don't think they opened the letters, but they did keep them. And I find that, I mean, obviously it was a way for Steven to realize whose house they were in. But I think that's a very interesting detail, that his parents would get these letters from Greg, not open them, not want to know what he's up to, but still keep them. Because they just can't bring themselves to throw them away. Or maybe they did read them, sealed them back up, and put them away and didn't respond. It could be either. We don't know. But it is such a fascinating detail to me that his parents kept those letters, even though they didn't want to respond to him. So, yeah. It's interesting. Well, he kind of disowned his parents, I think, first. By, again, running away in a shitty van when he was 18. You know? So, to become a rock star. Evidently he didn't make it very far, because it seems like it's just a few hours to his parents' house from Beach City. I mean, they're only got a little road trip here, but it's like a day trip, so, you know. But yeah, I don't know. She doesn't get it.
At Sausumness sent a super chat. Steven gets 4 moms. All we get is we damned. Damn.
I'm not as good as 4 moms, come on.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. Steven is old enough to play the ukulele when he starts living with the Gems. There's a scene where he sings the theme song to the Gems, and it shows he moved in when they built the house.
Yeah, he was probably around like 7 or 8 when he moved in with them, maybe? It didn't really say, I'm just guessing.
At Ed Stevens 5542 sent a super chat. In the end, he's the old man who saw his family parting way and doesn't want to face that he could visit them instead.
Yeah.
At Ed Stevens 5542 sent a super chat. He had to hide a CD because it had a dude with makeup on the cover.
Yeah, he had like, or just, they just didn't like him listening to rock music. I could see Greg's parents being one of those, you're only allowed to listen to Christian or classical music type people. You know? Yeah, the Bowie-ass CD he brings out that inspired his name. I bet he was hiding weed in there, too. He didn't show Steven that. But yeah, he went back in for that CD so he could show Steven where their name came from. And you get this scene where they're just... They can't connect with each other, because Greg is trying to, like... Trying to communicate the feeling this song gave him. That inspired him to run away and, you know, chase his dreams in his youth. And Steven just isn't being moved by it. He doesn't see what Greg sees in it. And I know that feeling of trying to impart on someone what a song feels like to you, and it just doesn't feel that way to them. It's like, oh god, Greg, I know that frustration, but it's like impossible. You know, it's like trying to describe colors to someone who can't see color, you know? But, I mean, like I said, Mr. Universe is a great fucking episode. I think it is the best episode of Future. So, that's my opinion anyway.
But it sounds like he sent letters upon letters and then, at some point, presumably just gave up. I mean, there aren't that...
Well, so you do know he wrote to them. Yeah, they kept these sealed letters from him. And you would think, yeah, after he doesn't hear back from them ever, that he would get discouraged. Of course he would.
Not many in here. It'd be nice if his parents deigned to check how their son was doing, and as much as he didn't visit them, they also didn't visit him, despite having his address. Not to defend Greg's parents...
Well, this P.O. box, because he doesn't have a formal address. Like, he could have built a fucking apartment in the goddamn car wash. He owns it! Then he decides to keep sleeping on that 40-year-old mattress in his shitty fucking van. Because he is that, like, psychologically attached to his own freedom.
Necessarily, but there's also a lot of reasons these letters might have gone unopened. We only hear Greg's side of the story. Maybe him packing up and driving away like this tore apart the family.
You turned your back on your family just so you could get in with a bunch of weirdo hippie Martian immigrants?
No.
I fucking love Uncle Andy.
He's got a point.
And it's too sore a wound to want to hear his excuses.
In Greg's defense, he didn't run away to meet the gems. He met the gems when he was about, like, 22 or so, I think it was? I didn't delete those by accident, did I? What the fuck? Here's the Disco Elysium music I added. I still need the pencil drawing here. Oh no. Is the ink somewhere else? Did I lose them? What did I do? I'll have to figure that out later. Yeah, no, like I said, every line out of Uncle Andy's mouth is fucking gold. You can tell they had so much fun writing him.
And doe-eyed daydreaming.
This is the CD with the song that made me who I am.
Oh yeah, there's the fucking David Bowie parody I was talking about earlier.
Onto your butt, Steven.
The audio in Future is so weird. I always notice it. Somebody else said, like, thank you for pointing that out. Like, the audio, like, the dialogue audio in Future is so overproduced. It's weird. Yes, Uncle Andy is Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and there's a video out there on Twitter, and I can't find it again, where they took Carl and Greg's VA in Aqua Teen and dubbed it to Andy and Greg with Pumpkin as Meatwad, and it's so fucking funny. Here he goes. Here he goes, trying to like, oh man, this is my hype song. It makes me feel so good. Clearly, this feeling that I feel from this song that blew my mind when I was a repressed youth is going to transfer to my son, and he'll understand. And that is just not how anything works.
Again,
I think Future was made during the. No, it was like a little before the pandemic, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, I know Greg's VA does record from his own studio, but it's like everybody's dialogue is like overprocessed and overproduced in Future. It's very strange. It's slightly distracting. Oh, Kaiser finally sent me something. We'll have to wait till after the video now.
In Gem Harvest, we learn that there used to be family
Yeah, it's Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
gatherings at the barn. It seems to me like the DeMeo family are wealthy enough, with Greg's parents' house and Andy owning a plane. Flight school is expensive.
You're throwing off my back!
It's also like a wicked old, like, crop duster plane. It's not like a very expensive private plane.
Haven't you gotta bring us
But
Oh,
they
wow,
don't
a
seem
9/11
forget
joke,
about an
how
entire
edgy.
seaside property kind of rich, you know? Maybe after Greg cut ties, nobody wanted to meet up anymore, feeling like Greg's absence left a hole, something Greg would never do.
You know, I really shouldn't be here, but I'm glad I came back.
The old universe charm.
He doesn't talk about the impact his actions left on the family at all, even if he bitches about his parents. We can only speculate on that, of course, but what's undeniable is that Greg's choices, which I think are not totally called for, led to Steven never meeting his human family. But it's not just the
Wow, we found, like, specifically found out in this episode for 100% sure that Greg isn't perfect. It's almost like Steven had to realize both of his parents aren't perfect and that they're their own people who have their own baggage and make their own mistakes. It's almost like that's part of fucking growing up.
lack of connection to the DeMeos that upsets Steven so badly. He sees the meticulously organized life
Go read Blue A Universe, where Blue is the mom, and the Crystal Gems actually won the war, and Rose is hunting down Nora like a fucking Terminator. Blue A Universe is great.
his grandparents built for Greg, and starts getting angry about something else, too. Providing no structure. In Steven Universe Future, one of the core internal conflicts that arises is that Steven doesn't have a concept of normal. This is explicitly attributed to all of the trauma he's experienced, which...
Well, yes, because his life is very not normal. I mean, this has always been a theme in the show. Like, Connie would always be very, self-conscious around Steven, at least at first. Like, oh, you have such a fantastical, magical life. Anything I do must be boring to you. And of course, Steven, he gets really excited about normal, mundane things because they're so rare to him. And he's like, no, Dogcopter is awesome. Let's go to the movies, Connie. This is amazing. Normalcy. You know, I mean, that's always been a theme in the show, but again, Future is out here bashing people over the head with the themes they missed the first fucking time.
At Kaylee and Christian sent a super chat. You know how these zoomers are if the character is not looking at the camera explaining their backstory, how they're pure good, they're going to interpret the worst possible thing about the character.
Yes! Why have they been taught to think this way?
In 8328 sent a super chat. Rebecca Sugar, the political voice of our time.
It's still so weird, because, like, most people get mad at the Uncle Andy episode for not eviscerating him for being, like, mildly conservative and old-fashioned, where the whole point of the episode is, like, understanding other people. I mean, the whole point of fucking Steven Universe is understanding other people and their perspectives. That's, like, the whole main thing. But this person, on the other hand, is like, oh my god, they're totally making fun of this conservative guy. How dare you, Rebecca Sugar? And it's like, well, that's a take I don't usually see. It's interesting.
At Clyde Albert sent a super chat. We saw all those unopened letters in the DeMeo house. I thought they cut Greg off.
Yeah, well, she did bring up the letters eventually, but like I said, that is the most interesting part of the episode to me. Even though it's just there to facilitate Steven figuring out whose house it is, I think that was a very clever way to do it. It's a very interesting detail that lets you, like, think of a lot of things about what the relationship between Greg and his parents must be like. Because again, they may not have opened those letters, but they did keep them, and that is so interesting.
At Varish Wolf 95 sent a super chat. My conservative parents, at the encouragement of my math teacher, put me in a math club. Cause they thought it'll be a good way to make me like math. It did the opposite.
I also hate
At
math.
Freak sent a super chat. Why do they have so many NSFW art of Greg?
Well, that's a fantastic question! Did you gather them just for this video, or...?
5542 sent a super chat. Maybe Greg wasn't the only person in his family who felt apostrophe and he was just the tipping point.
Maybe, because, like, Uncle Andy is, like, his whole thing is like, oh, we all used to have Thanksgiving at the barn for some fucking reason. And now everybody is, like, all the family is flung across all, you know, areas of the country, and we don't all see each other anymore. By the end, he's like, I could have gone around and saw everybody this whole time. I have this airplane, you know? So, like, his whole thing was, we don't do things like we used to, and that's bad. But then he learns he can still see his family on his own terms. So somebody might have found the video I was thinking of. I've been searching for this fucking thing. No, this isn't the one. Oh, this one. Oh wait, no, it's toward the. Oh, did they have it toward the end? As I've seen the one clip where it starts out with, "What happened to my freaking car?" This one has a watermark though. Maybe we'll watch this after.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Amethyst, it's not like we can shrink ourselves and change how she thinks. Edits West 777 sent a super chat. Sorry to be off topic and sounding petty, but Truff cannot get on Hazbin's style of comedy when this is their humor.
I know, right? That was the problem with the fucking Charlie video, too. Like, you keep calling the show unfunny, and then you have these horrendously unfunny cutaways. It's like, no, the show, no matter what you think of the humor, the show is still funnier than you and manages to tell actual jokes, you know? It's like, sometimes in a show, like, you may not find the joke funny, but you can still recognize that it is a joke. You know, Zoomers seem to have problems with that, too. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. But something he cites often is how he doesn't—
Sonic Vegeta says, I'm someone who wants to watch the whole show from the beginning to end, but I can't get past Steven's voice in the early episodes. It's way too high-pitched. Yeah, he is really annoying in the early episodes. But I also, like, I don't really like Steven Universe Season 1A. The show took a while to find its feet and for the crew to figure out what they even wanted the show to be. And look at that, guys, I'm being critical of Steven Universe again, the thing the internet says I'm incapable of doing. But look up the Flood Order. The Flood Order is a viewing order of Season 1 that cuts out so many episodes and gets you to Mirror Gem as fast as possible with all the information you need to know. I do think that's a good way. There's a couple episodes I swap out and swap in. Like, it says skip the very first episode. I would say watch the very first episode, even though it has a lot of stuff in it that it did not keep in the lore at all. A lot of Season 1 is like that. A lot of Season 1, it features around, like, these gem artifacts that all feel like, you know, something a D&D GM just pulled out of his ass for, like, that quest, like, right then. But yeah, I do highly recommend the Flood Order if you want to get to, like, where the show starts picking up and getting exciting. If you like the early episodes, it's fine. The early episodes strike me as way more of a early 2000s show. And again, it's like they didn't really know what they wanted the show to be at first. And we're kind of just throwing shit at the wall. And again, there's a lot of stuff that they bring up that just never comes up again in the lore at all, because they kind of changed the lore a little bit, obviously, later on. So, I think the Centipedal episode is in the Flood Order. Otherwise, you could add it back in. I mean, there's episodes I would add back in, but if you look at the Flood Order as a guide, it is, like, the best way to, like, cut the slog of Season 1 and get to the good stuff. After that, there's not a lot of episodes I would skip. But, like, I fucking hate, like, Onion Gang and a few other ones, but I fucking hate Say Uncle. I won't watch that one, but yeah. After you get to Lapis, like, the show picks up. Like, for real. So
doesn't know how to even approximate normal if there isn't a crisis for him to solve.
Yes.
We've always had something to fix.
Yes, that's fucking what Future is about. Steven doesn't know what to fucking do with himself now that he doesn't have problems to solve, and he knows that he's not Rose.
Approximate normal if there isn't a crisis for him to solve.
We've always had something to fix together. The cluster, the diamonds, or Spinel. I don't think I know how to be a friend without something to fix.
This sense of always waiting for the other shoe to drop is a well-known—
This is such a great episode. Goddamn, this scene looks so good still. I remember when I first saw this when it was airing, like, this is so fucking brilliant. This is obviously a dream sequence, but, context, Peridot and Steven had been using his dreams to, like, make their own episodes of a show they were disappointed in, and of course it doesn't go very well. Steven, as we all know, can just fall asleep on command. But yeah, it comes to this part where he's, like, crawling across a test screen toward a fucking, like, menacing Peridot. God, it looks so good. This was so great. This is also a really good episode of Future, man. Future has some, like, great episodes, and some that are just fine. I honestly, I like Future. I'm much easier on Future than the main show, I always say, because they just had, like, 20 more episodes dropped in their lap after being forced to finish the show early, that they had to figure out something to do with. So, considering that, I think it's pretty, I think it came out pretty solid.
A symptom of PTSD and CPTSD. While it wouldn't cure his condition by any means, having a stable baseline in life certainly wouldn't hurt his mental recovery. Steven has never been to school to socialize with other kids, and therefore has this very speedrun arc in Future where he stresses about not being able to relate to humans. This is resolved with him learning that he can—
Speedrun arc? The entire season is focused on that. We could have had gem lore, but then somebody gave Rebecca Sugar a book on child psychology, and she decided that was the whole season was going to be about Steven trying to figure out who the fuck he is now that the danger has passed, and that he found out he is his own person and not Rose. So, yeah, which is fine, but, like, you're saying it's a speedrun? It's all 20 fucking episodes of Future. And again, they only had 20 episodes, and they were just given when the movie got greenlit. I've explained it before, but that's what happened. So, basically, first, Cartoon Network makes them finish the show early over the gay wedding of Garnet. So they have to wrap up the plot as quick as possible, as if they still waste time on Lars for some reason. And that's fine. Show ends. They get the movie greenlit. And then somebody else at Cartoon Network, and this might have been when they changed presidents, too. All of a sudden, with the movie greenlit, Cartoon Network goes, oh, you can't have a movie without a show going, though, so here's 20 episodes. There you go. And it's like, well, you've already forced us to end the main story. Now what the fuck do we do with these 20 episodes? You know? Like, the way I always put it is, Rebecca Sugar's a better person than me. I would have fucking burned the building down if I was facing that bullshit. So that's why I am much, much, much easier on Future.
Just lean on Connie's presence forever, which is healthy.
Connie, will you marry me?
Well, it isn't healthy! That's why she rejects him! This was just another one of his desperate bids to figure out something to do with his life and find a direction for his life. Just getting married to Connie, which is kind of, like, inevitable, but it's, like, it's way too early for them to be thinking about that. And that's what she says, you know? Yes, always Lars slander. I hate Lars more than I hate fucking Lapis. You can deal with it, Dia. But yeah, this episode is, like, just slow-motion train wreck. Because, like, it's, like, such a perfect first date, and then he ruins it by proposing. I mean, the kid was raised by 3 lesbians and 2 bisexuals. What do you expect from him? Of course he's gonna ask her to marry on the first date.
You only care about yourself. Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
And turns out about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah, it wasn't going to turn out well ever, because fucking Ruby and Sapphire idiots. There's a great comic out there where Ruby and Sapphire read up to each other like, oh my god, I told Steven to propose! I still told Steven to propose too! And they, like, hug, and they turn back into Garnet, and Garnet just stands there and goes, oh no. I accept that as canon.
As Dr. Maheshwaran points out, he's never even—
Yeah, Amethyst and Greg, that's the 2 bisexuals, and the 3 lesbians are Pearl, Ruby, and Sapphire. Keep up. This is a good comic, too. And this is only funny because the comic is funny, not you're just putting it there. I mean, that is the episode, basically. She did threaten to call Greg later. I just love the background indication that Priyanka has the phone numbers of, like, Greg and Pearl and the rest of them, and they're all communicating behind the scenes. Well, some people theorize Greg is bi. I'm half joking, maybe, but... yeah, he strikes you a bit as a bi kind of guy, I don't know.
Been to a doctor either. Yet, during her career, the Gems deigned to take themselves in for scientific observation, and didn't bother taking Steven, I guess? I suppose Dr. Maheshwaran figured Steven was...
They have Priyanka's fucking phone number, and she's, like, studying gems and how they differ from humans. She's accepted there's aliens now. I mean, she's pretty pragmatic like that. Like, oh, okay. But, like, she was like, it's so funny because in Nightmare Hospital, she's, like, basically Scully from the X-Files. She's like, she sees this horrible amalgamation of, like, fused gems, and she's like, this must be someone who was in a car accident. There's gotta be a logical explanation here. Oh yeah, you could say Greg is bi from the Human Zoo episode where he has a boyfriend and a girlfriend. And he does call all of the humans in the Human Zoo his exes in future, so there you go.
Already seeing a doctor, you know, because he has a living human dad who should know to take his kid for a checkup like a person. Going to school and checking on your...
that wasn't even Greg X Priyanka, that was Greg X Connie? Why are you showing underage shipping in your fucking video? Why is this here? What is the matter with you?
Going to school and checking on your physical and mental health are essential experiences. Greg seems to have really overestimated how non-human Steven is, despite the fact that he can...
So, again, you just flashed up art of Greg, like, knocking up a child Connie? What is your fucking damage? What did your parents do to you to make your brain like this? Great, I guess they think, haha, shock humor. The FBI, open up!
Suffer hay fever. And feel pain and grow just like a regular boy, even if at a slightly inconsistent rate.
I need to reverse this!
I mean, the fucking point of the episode is he's never been to a doctor, never been to school, he doesn't even have a fucking birth certificate. He doesn't have a social security number. I joked about him not having a social security number, but if you look at the chart he fills out for Priyanka, it literally says NA next to social security number.
Yes, I need a reverse birthday. The king costume. Will you help me into my birthday suit?
This never fucking comes up again, because, again, this was early season 1 where they didn't really know what the show was gonna be.
Well!
Yeah, that was the joke, that he said birthday suit, and birthday suit means naked, but Steven is a child and doesn't know that. That is the joke. Why are you making it worse with editing?
Well.
It's interesting, like, Truffles show an actual funny joke from the show, and then absolutely fucking ruin it with this cringe-ass zoomer editing that they think is funny. You are a deeply unfunny person, Truff, I'm sorry.
And while understandable that he wouldn't be able to give you an exact idea of how human Steven is, what's not understandable is that he takes the prospect that Steven isn't going to be a human and uses it to dip from all real responsibility. While it doesn't seem like he's trying to be a deadbeat dad, that's ultimately what he is in the original show. He lets the Gems do their part in raising Steven as a gem, but doesn't do his, for some reason, in raising Steven as a...
You say as you show him doing just that! Like, he teaches Steven values, he teaches him music, you know? But again, Greg, do you think Greg even goes to the doctor? Look at this man. He's been sleeping on the same mattress in a shitty van for the last, like, 20 goddamn years. You know? Do you think Greg goes to the doctor? Probably not.
Human. Like, say, facilitating his contact with other kids.
Like, Priyanka's gonna look at him one day and say, you really need to get that sunburn checked out. I think you have skin cancer.
Or even signing him up for standardized exams that he could take with homeschooling, which would let him make university applications.
Well, I mean, Pearl is the one basically homeschooling him. I think this was from the comics, and not the show, but there was a kind of a funny comic where, Steven went to school with Connie for the day, and, like, was actually good at math and shit because Pearl taught him. I would assume, like, all gems are probably good at math. They're basically fucking, like, robot people and digital people.
Applications. Human academia? Standardized exams? Pearl would be all over that shit if Greg set that up for Steven to begin.
Why do you keep showing fucking porn in this goddamn video? Now homophobic porn, of course.
It's worse in future. Greg won't even provide structure as a parent in conversation. Steven is practically begging for Greg to be a parent in this whole scene.
Plot twist, Greg is an anti-vaxxer! I mean... Considering he kind of is, like, into conspiracies and shit, like, that could very well be true. Headcanon accepted.
Up until he crashes the van. He wants him to react like the normal human relative he wishes he had, the anchor to humanity he needs, among other things. But Greg responds to Steven's crash out with a parody of gentle parenting.
I'm proud of you.
What?
You know, I never-
It's not a parody of gentle parenting, it's Greg not wanting to be his parents to Steven, not realizing that, that lack of structure and that lack of accountability is harming Steven. Because he can't see how it would, because it harmed him to be overly criticized and overly controlled. So to him, doing the exact fucking opposite would be the way. I mean, Rose thought the same way! Like, okay, with the crystal gems, we just have to allow anything, and then all of a sudden Bismuth is going too far, and it's like, oh fuck, oh no, what do I do about this? Oh no! You know, like, yeah, they're flawed people who make mistakes. That, again, that is a big theme in the show, that people are people, and they're flawed, and they have their own perspectives, and they're going to have misunderstandings and mistakes, but they can grow and change. Yeah, I mean, very basic theming in Steven Universe.
Never had the guts to tell my old man off like that.
Which only further upsets Steven. It's so obviously not okay. You shouldn't be proud of and reward your child for almost killing you both. And in the context of Steven here being haunted-
Again, and it has, like, it has negative consequences! At the very end of the episode, Steven gets completely disillusioned with his father and deletes the photo of his father as a kid he took from the house. Like, yes, so it has... Greg's reaction to Steven crashing the van has negative consequences and is one of the compounding factors that leads to him becoming a giant fucking kaiju at the end. He is slowly running out of people he can rely on, or he can feel like he can rely on. That's why he ends up asking fucking Jasper for advice, like the worst person possible.
by the concept of being able to harm and kill and destroy, only for everything to be played off as fine afterwards. This is the last thing he needed to hear.
The van scene worse.
This is a children's show also, but yes, it is, yeah, it's the last thing Steven needed to hear here. Yes, that is the fucking point! That is the fucking point of the scene! You... It's just like her Hazbin video, where she acts like the very deliberately written mistakes Charlie makes with angel dust are somehow mistakes in the narrative that the writers aren't aware of. You know, this is the purpose of this scene, is for Steven to get disillusioned with his father. So of course, it is the last thing he needed to hear here. Yes, that is the fucking point! Like, it's on purpose! There's some super chats, goddamn. I hate when people do this so much.
At Hurtworks sent a super chat. Does this lady have a thing for Greg?
I don't know.
There's way too much Greg-centric fan art here. It's like 90%.
I mean, I know some people do. Some fans have a thing for...
Right now.
I mean, it's fine to have a thing for Greg. Why are you flashing all this porn at us?
Super chat. I assumed Greg didn't take Steven to the doctor for the same reason the kids probably didn't take Clark to one. They're aliens and they're afraid he'd be taken away to be studied or something.
Yeah, I meant, like, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, because there isn't, like, a lot of police or FBI or anything in Steven Universe land. But that, yeah, that's a factor. Like, he was afraid to send Steven to school or to the doctor because he is half alien. And Greg didn't really know how to handle that. You know, like, what if I take him to the doctor and something goes wrong, or the government takes him away to study him, or Steven doesn't even have a fucking birth certificate or any evidence of his existence legally on paper. So what the fuck was Greg supposed to do? You know?
Worse. We'll all get through this.
And he's already talked to Greg about this.
Just wish.
Oh wait, I think I had some more supers. I just paused them. Oh no, I didn't. Alright, cool. Awesome.
I knew what to do with myself.
This also just isn't a normal reaction at all, and feels very forced on Greg's part. Like he's trying hard.
He is trying hard, because he's been, this whole trip, he's been trying to connect with Steven, and he is failing at it. Because Steven isn't the same excitable, gullible little boy he was. He's now 16. He is starting to become an adult. He is in that tumultuous period between childhood and adulthood, and he is starting to view things differently and starting to see the flaws in his caregivers. Yeah, that's part of fucking growing up!
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Greg and Cinchi are my media crushes, but no one will know because they can't see this super chat.
Aha, your secret is safe with us. But yeah, so you like the chunky old guys, huh? I guess Cinchi's probably not that old for a dwarf, but you know what I mean. This is a Goofy movie! You're not wrong. Except it ends at the halfway point with the kid disillusioned with his dad and stops there, I guess. But, yeah, I imagine a lot of animators are inspired by a Goofy movie because it's actually, like, really fucking good.
To be contrary to how his parents might react, having heard about them earlier in the episode. Like I said, Greg could have been killed. For all Greg knows, not really understanding gem anatomy, Steven could have been killed.
We've seen Steven take bigger hits than that. But yeah, Greg was just at his childhood home, where remembering his overly controlling parents, so actually it is natural for him to react to that with, "It's okay, son, I'll never blame you for anything," and that is really not what Steven needed to hear in that moment, and again, that is the point. That is the fucking point. It's part of what makes him spiral.
I don't know about you, but the adrenaline in me would have brought out some kind of shock reaction. Instead, Greg just, yeah, no shit. There's a thought, actually. In this moment, is Greg perhaps...
I mean, Greg is always pretty fucking chill, except when Steven is in actual danger. You know? How did he not get any injuries from that, though? Greg, are you secretly superpowered? Have you been keeping something from us?
Scared of Steven? His free love vibe reaction is still in character, but to be generous, maybe that fear is a factor as to why he responds so weirdly here. What's frustrating about Greg's lack of structure is that it's all behind this quirk-chungus cool dad veneer. He's definitely the kind of guy to post on Instagram about how his borderline estranged son is his best friend. There's a more succinct way to put that, though.
How are they estranged? Steven sees him, like, every day. What do you mean? Greg is always around, he just doesn't live in the house. Because the house is constantly getting attacked by alien monsters. You know?
Immaturity. Greg being immature...
You could call Greg dumb and immature, I agree. But... what's your point gonna be?
Isn't actually a mark against him in and of itself, and his immaturity comes through a lot.
Oh man, I am a baby.
That can be fine. You can be silly, even a bit.
That was like fucking 22-year-old Greg, and now we're looking at like fucking 42-year-old Greg. I mean, come on now.
Stunted emotionally and still be a solid parent. You don't have to be perfect. In Mr. Greg in the original show, Steven exhibits greater maturity than either Greg or Pearl in a musical number where he reminds...
Yeah, Steven has been parentified by his fuck-up guardians. Yeah. That is part of the show you're supposed to understand. That Steven, the child, is managing the emotions of all of these fucked up adults. You are supposed to understand that! And gems are generally kinda immature, because they aren't human. They live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, but they seem to only, like, change when they're presented with, like, new information and new experiences, something they don't get on Homeworld. because Homeworld is so regimented, and Homeworld is all about, you were born to do this one thing, and this one thing is all you're ever gonna do or be, and if you step out of that, we're gonna kill you. So, most gems just stay in a single mindset until they're introduced to something new, which is why the Earth has such a big, dramatic effect on so many of them. Because the Earth is like this chaotic place where things are happening all the time and so quickly, and there's so many different experiences and points of views and perspectives and things happening, you know? So, it's like with Peridot, like, she doesn't change her mindset until she's been on Earth for a while. You know, that's kind of supposed to be the beauty of it, you know, and all that, yet the beauty that you're not seeing in this show because you just keep flashing fucking poorly drawn porn at us for some reason. This is also about Greg and Pearl having loved the same woman and being able to properly deal with her death and with each other. Yeah, like, even at the beginning of Season 1, Greg and Pearl have this weird little friendship. Even though Pearl doesn't particularly like him and treats him like shit, they are kind of like, they kind of have this bizarre little friendship that I love. Because she's, like, always fixing a shitty van. That van would not work anymore if it wasn't for Pearl.
At Beloved111 sent a super chat. Do these people ever write a script anymore? Sounds more like thinking aloud?
I don't know. I mean, I'm someone who always talks off the cuff, and I'm better at talking off the cuff, but, like, for fuck's sake. You know? I don't know, they just keep flashing traumatizing, goonery things on screen. Yeah, Zach's singing here was good. I think the first time I really thought his singing was, like, fantastic was, Familiar. But it's like, he fucking grew up on this show around, like, you know, fucking Estelle and Dee Dee Magno Hall, who's a stage singer. So yeah, he learned a thing or two about singing, I imagine, you know, as he grew up.
Them that their love rivalry is past, and they're united now in
Will you stop fucking shipping Greg and Pearl? Like, Pearl's a fucking lesbian. No matter how much that pisses off some people. Like, she was written to be one in the show. Like, creators have, like, fucking, like... said that. It's just like fucking so annoying. People, like, don't want lesbians to have anything.
Parental figures to Stephen. And that's fine. I think it made for an interesting and actually touching plot, especially if you've ever had a loss in your life that's torn apart the community around you.
Oh, you didn't even show the funnier one. You didn't even show the fucking funnier meme. Boo! Boo!
One of Dee Dee Magno Hall's best vocal performances in the-
Yeah, their weird little frenemy friendship. One of my favorite bits is just when Steven is, like, trying to get everyone to take the fucking Crying Breakfast Friends quiz, and he runs off, and Greg and Pearl are just working on the van, and Pearl goes, "Do you understand that cartoon show?" And Craig just goes, "I don't understand anything anymore." It's like, yeah, that feels like a lot of my adult friendships right there.
The show is just a bonus. But it's less understandable when he, say, pretends to have a broken leg, tearing Stephen away from apocalyptic threats that could destroy the Earth.
I'll tell you, I don't use, as a lesbian, I like to have my lesbianness everywhere, and I don't like gems paired with men usually, but oddly... Some people have a crack ship of Andy and Holly Blue, and I'm like, that oddly works for some reason. I don't know why, but that oddly works.
Earth, just so he can hang out with him.
Ah! Dad needs me! I'll be right back! Dad, I'm here! Is everything—
Yeah, but Rebecca draws everybody kissing ever. She drew the vampire chick and Finn kissing one time, too.
Hey, Steven! Just making sure this thing actually works.
Or, you know, when he doesn't give Stephen an education.
You just really hate the fucking sitcom episode where he pretends to still have a broken leg, huh?
And lets him run off to deal with apocalyptic threats despite repeated injuries, imprisonments, and other perils. That's pretty immature too. But his immaturity does underpin all of the stuff we've talked about already. He wouldn't act
Almost
this way
like it's
if he
deliberately
had his
written
act
that
together
way.
a little bit and grew up some. The reason I talk about
Again, we have this— I have observed something about this character that is deliberately written about them in the show. I am smarter than the show. You know, it's like, no, you were just watching it correctly and gleaning the information the show wants you to glean with the writing and acting like that's somehow some kind of revelation on your part that the show is unaware of and that you're outsmarting it. It's like, come on now. It's so annoying.
this at all isn't just because I'm the #1 Greg hater, which I am. I even like Ronaldo.
Why the fuck do you have so much porn of him then? I also like Ronaldo. With Ronaldo, I think it's like an age gap thing. I like Ronaldo because I recognize Ronaldo as like just a walking stereotype of a weeaboo from 2003. Like, a lot of us knew this guy, or were this guy, in high school or college. I'm around the same age as a lot of the Crewdiverse, so I know exactly where he's coming from, and I think he's absolutely fucking hysterical. But I notice a lot of younger people hate him, probably because they just don't get what he's, like, a cultural reference to for older people, you know? I think he's great. My favorite Ronaldo bit is the Koala Princess saga, where he's just texting Steven. Steven's expecting texts from Connie. He's getting texts from fucking Ronaldo instead. When it culminates with him like breaking a window to get back in his house to get his fucking Koala Princess DVD set back. I just love fucking off-screen jokes and jokes with like implications you have to put together like that. It's good shit. It's good shit.
At Nostalgic Nerd 9036 sent a super chat. Lapis X Pair. My best ship.
Well, on the side stream, you're allowed to be wrong.
Even like Ronaldo, but whoa. Oh, sorry, whoa. almost said something crazy there. No,
Ronaldo's a teenager. Greg is at least a grown-ass man. You're really weirding me out in this one, Truff.
realized something whilst browsing defenses of Greg and the way he's presented in the original show especially. He's a real guy. His relationship to family, tradition, and responsibility seem to be really relatable to a lot of the people who watch Steven Universe still, and the people who
watch Steven Universe still, who you're suggesting are adult babies, and yet you're fucking talking about the show. Have you not watched it recently to make this video, or what? But, like, yeah, that's the other thing, like Rose is, like, this fucking space goddess, and the guy she ended up falling in love with is just a guy. He's just a guy. He's just an ordinary person, you know? It's like, it's kind of the...
At Lillian Liquoris sent a super chat. I love when he calls his friend his Ohime-sama.
Restaurant Wars is one of my favorite human episodes, yeah. Like, my Ohime-sama! And it's like, oh god, I cringe because it's like... Yeah, I remember being weepy like that in high school, yeah.
most ardently defend him, and maybe that's not surprising. While not true of everyone who enjoys Steven Universe, with tween animated shows right now, there's always a contingent who only watch kids and tweens shows and engage with no adult.
Oh, you meant tween as an age. Okay. Okay. I thought you were gonna say this show is tweened animated, and I was gonna be like, what the fuck are you on?
Only watch kids and tweens shows and engage with no adult media at all. That doesn't make them.
Well, guess what? I do engage with adult media, and I love this show, so now what, Truffs? What adult media do you engage in, I wonder? I'm going to see what else you've made videos on, because you couldn't even understand The Fucking Good Place or the tone of that show. So, like, I don't believe you watch shows for adults.
Them bad people, but it may explain finding Greg's severe immaturity relatable. But it's not just the audience, it's the writers too. Consider how they portray Connie's mother, Dr. Maheshwaran, as totally unreasonable and needing to let—
They don't, though. They don't! Like, her and Connie reconcile where she realizes she's maybe been a little too controlling of Connie, but Connie also, like, promises to be more mindful of, like, her mom and her worrying about her, you know? Like, and then she starts communicating with the Gems and Greg, and they all keep tabs as parental figures, you know? Like, Priyanka's great! What do you mean? She's a fan favorite! So again, we're seeing characters you would maybe characterize as more conservative. You're acting like it's a high insult the way they're portrayed in the show, even though both Andy and Priyanka are portrayed in sympathetic ways. but they're portrayed as being the people that they are, you know? Like, she's not gonna, like, change her fucking personality. You know? She's a very serious doctor woman.
Her daughter be herself.
A sword? Connie, where did you get?
Well, I mean, when your fucking 13-year-old comes home with a sword, yeah, that might be a bit of a fucking problem.
This? A sword?
Gosh, just let your young child be without you, unsupervised in a household with no human.
Oh wait, you're thinking that's supposed to be the unreasonable reaction? I think that's a pretty... Bro! That's a reasonable fucking crash out! What do you mean? What do you mean? You're saying the show is portraying her as unreasonable here? No, this is a very reasonable fucking crash out, but her and Connie have to reconcile over this.
Where did you get this? A sword?
Gosh, just let your young child be without you, unsupervised in a household with no human adults and dangerous weapons. Get with the times, Mum! Usually, over time, you learn that tradition and habit should be scrutinized, but often you learn that tradition, human adults...
Where are you going with this? Because it is sounding like you're like... The two characters who could be seen as old-fashioned, you're like, very heavily insulted by them being the butt of a joke or something. Even though everybody's the butt of the joke at some point in this show.
And dangerous weapons. Get with the times, Mum! Usually, over time, you learn that tradition and habit should be scrutinized, but are often there for a reason, like going to the doctor for a checkup or going to school. There are bad things about both experiences, and it's natural to go through a phase of fixating on that after a childhood, seeing the world with innocent glee and just doing as you're told. But then you're supposed to gradually learn to think critically about these things, and act in a level-headed way, rather than being mindlessly positive and obedient, or mindlessly...
I mean, that's fucking Steven throughout Future for one thing, but are you saying... You're like out here saying, actually, this show that questions tradition shouldn't do that. That's very offensive to me. After you've just been flashing porn at us this whole fucking video. What are you?
Negative and belligerent. You're supposed to learn through this to act in a level-headed way in your best interests. Greg doesn't do this. Certain contemporary groups talk a lot about, I hate this phrase, living your truth, and just cutting out people who don't praise or actively enable that, and people like Greg are the natural result. Rootless, isolated, unambitious, and a bit whiny. I'm not saying there's a single Alright, you just reached up to give a little itch of your nose under that mask, huh? Wow. right way to live. It's totally fine if Greg wants to live in a van and run a car wash and eat the little he can afford. That may be ambition fit.
No, it isn't. He needs to move out of that fucking van. I was like, when it got leaked that the van was gonna crash in Future, I was like, oh my god, finally, is the van gonna be dead? Greg, go live in a house. Get out of that. You can't keep sleeping on that mattress, man. Think of your back. You're getting older. I said, watch him crash the van and he gets a fucking RV instead, just to fucking spite me. I did joke I should make that the canon in Future, not Future, my AU. He gets a fucking RV because Spinel can't fix the van. I decided I couldn't see her being as technically minded as Pearl. He does finally move into the fucking house at the very end of Future.
Van? That's fine. It's also-
Yeah, he has millions of dollars and he still lives in the van. That's where it gets pathological.
Fine if Greg wants to raise a child in a van whilst running a car wash and living in poverty.
First off, I am 35 years old, I am divorced, and I live...
Why are you using the racist drawing of Connie that one guy who recently threatened to kill himself did? That Why are you using the racist hot diggity demon Connie picture? Right after saying tradition is good and getting mad that they're seemingly making fun of the conservative character. Yikes.
In a van down by the
car wash.
Not the best situation, but not reprehensible. But because he hated school and structure and his parents setting goals for him, he decides to do the complete opposite for Stephen. Rather than, for instance, not forcing Stephen into or out of a hobby the way his parents did, he decides that the rational antithesis to this is to not give Stephen any cues for life at all, beyond teaching him how to play the guitar.
I just wish I knew what to do with myself.
He sets no expectations, but in doing so, fails to teach Stephen how to set any expectations.
Yeah, motherfucker, that's the whole point of Future. Again, you're taking things that the show is blatantly communicating and going, look what happens in this show that the writers weren't even aware of. And it's like, no, they're very aware. They wrote it this way on fucking purpose. You are picking up exactly what they want you to. Why do you think this is a mistake? And again, you just use the fucking racist hot diggity demon drawing of Connie, so I don't give a shit about anything you say anymore.
For himself. And so Stephen in Future is adrift and lashing out partly because of that. Live your truth and follow your heart is all fine, and the quirky chungussy outcomes are all very well and good, if sometimes a bit depressing. But when a child is in the picture, you're no longer living just for yourself. Because he's so deep in the delusions that—
Are you a parent, Truff Stuff? I highly doubt you are. Again, your sex jokes scream virgin anyway, but yeah, like, this is— maybe you're not the person to be saying this.
Making mum and dad sad equals good, he can't see that he's not parenting Stephen. He's trying to make a friend. That's not what you do with your child. Here, let a gorilla tell you.
My son and I work better as friends. I'm sure you...
You can be friends with your child as well, you know, like, maybe when they're younger, yeah, it's more important to be a parent, but once kids get older, it's like— once you're a fucking adult, it's fine to be friends with your parents. I mean, Jesus.
You do. Friends don't have to worry about discipline or setting an example. It's easy to be a friend. That's why kids have—
Wow, let's take some preachy shit from American Dad as gospel, I guess. What? Again, you're supposed to understand that Greg made some mistakes parenting Stephen. That is the whole point of Mr. Universe, is for Stephen to get disillusioned with his father. Like, that is the point. That is the point!
Lots of them.
You can be friends with your parents, but not until you've grown up and created a life of your own and no longer rely on parents to give you structure. And even then, your parents won't be friends with you exactly the same way your peers will be. You'll always be looking up to them, and in your mind, they'll always be, well, your parents. It's not a lesser bond, it's just different. Maybe it's even greater than normal friendship. Sorry, I hit puberty there. In the end, Greg wasn't there for Stephen's upbringing, something he rues himself but has the ability to change.
He fucking was! Stephen is always hanging out with him and can go see him any goddamn time he wants. You know, like, this makes no fucking sense.
No, I didn't mean for— I just wanted to live with my son again.
He wasn't—
And again, you keep showing the single fucking sitcom send-up episode that you don't like. A lot of people don't like that episode, but it is an early season 1 episode, when again, the show was still kind of finding its tone and finding its feet. So, who the fuck cares? You just keep showing the same one episode to say you hate this character, and ignoring everything else.
There as a parent, instead taking on a friendly mentor kind of role, and he wasn't bearing Stephen in mind when he made choices later in life, contributing to an older Stephen feeling adrift and unsupported. Dr. Maheshwaran and Greg's parents are meant to represent authority figures that are too strict and who need to learn to let go a bit, but in portraying their very
No, I mean, they don't vilify Greg's parents. We get his point of view on them, and we get Stephen's counter-arguments to his point of view on his parents, though Stephen has never met them, obviously. Like, you're supposed to just infer things about them from the environment that they have created, but, like, the show isn't saying for sure that his parents are bad, and again, they kept his fucking letters, which, to me, indicates that there could be some reconciliation in the future. You know, that is a sign that they haven't let go of him completely, that they keep his letters. You know, that's such a fucking important detail, and again, it's not remarked upon. The show doesn't tell you what to think about it, and the show doesn't tell you exactly what it means, so you just don't think it's fucking important, even though it is such, like, I guess it's such a fucking fascinating detail to me. Yeah, Connie's mom is strict, but it was toned down, but Connie's mom she's also shown to be very fucking high-strung, you know? That is a flaw of hers.
Reasonable behavior as abusive and restrictive. The Crooniverse kind of lets its own misguided perspectives on how to be responsible.
But here they're showing why Greg's parenting style is also flawed. You know, they outright show you why Greg's parenting style is flawed in this episode and what it's done to Steven. And you're acting like they're saying hippie dad good, conservative mom bad, you know? I don't even think Priyanka's conservative, but you know what I mean. It's kind of the way Truff is framing it.
Come through. Even if you think Dr. Maheshwaran and Mr. and Mrs. DeMeo are too much,
showing weird
Greg is
porn.
right at the other end of the spectrum, and that's not good either. Sure, don't forcibly
Yes!
feed your kids.
That is the point of Mr. Universe! Why do you keep reiterating the point of the episode and acting like the episode didn't understand its own point? Why? How do you do this? Like, yes, the episode has told you all of this, and you've come away from it like, the episode must have told me this by accident.
But also don't let them shatter their skull either. He's a terrible father who seems to think emotional openness is where parenting starts and ends.
Greg is nice,
For God's sake,
Stephen.
stop showing us porn!
Our last blessed amethyst.
Okay, I guess the ending of this is just going to be nothing but porn. Okay, very cool. Very cool, Truff Stuff. You're extremely fucking weird.
At rock_DS sent
No,
a
I'm not
super chat.
okay. I've been
I'm surprised
assaulted.
More people don't like Ronaldo. He tried to kill Lars after all.
A lot of people don't like Ronaldo, but I do like him.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. In Kotax, the broth of roots and herbs will do everyone good.
A broth of roots and herbs will do everyone good. I can cook now. I can cook something besides a half-frozen breakfast burrito.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Oh no, she's turning into KP.
I don't know what the fuck this bitch is, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's, yeah, we don't need to see any more of your NSFW fucking folder there, buddy. I mean, they do have some other weird fucking videos, like, I love Peggy Hill's feet, and, you're wrong about Drawn Together. Drawn Together actually good. So you think Hazbin Hotel is too much? You think fucking Drawn Together is good? That show just turned into, like, a gross-out fest. It was funny for, like, the first season. And then it just got, like, oh, let's just try to be edgy, like, late stage fucking Family Guy. South Park's Trump stuff is lazy satire. Cotton Hill deserved better. Yeah, I'm starting to get some feelings from, this person. They seem to kind of lean conservative. Oh god, you got a BoJack video too. Maybe we'll throw out another one of her videos, but like, yeah, how can you glaze Drawn Together but say Hazbin Hotel is too much? That's idiotic.
At Jessel sent a super chat. This video felt like a huge waste of time. What was even the point of it?
I don't know, but her Charlie video was so bad, you guys decided to torture me with these, and now we're all tortured together. We all have shared trauma. Alright, it's 4 o'clock. I kind of wanted to go to at least like 5:30 because I'm gonna send you guys over to Celtic Phoenix. Let's have a fucking palate cleanser with this shitpost video.
What happened to my friggin' barn?
Good morning, Carl. How's it going?
Oh yeah, this isn't the one I thought it was, but we can watch this one.
Oh, yeah. Good morning to you there, Mr. Food Monster. This is how it's going. Look at my frickin' barn. It is crushed to bejesus and back.
Have you gotten any estimates?
Oh, for the friggin'... I just found it this way.
Carl,
I can Paradox Master Shake.
Carl, it's okay. It's cool, man. I'm a detective.
Hey, Carl.
Great, we got the fry man up there.
What are you doing to that guy up there?
Just putting him down.
Damn it!
You're all right.
No, don't worry about me. I fell 2 stories. I'm fine.
Good, because it did happen on your side of the lawn.
Oh, you mean my pool?
Oh, is this your pool?
Yeah, it is.
Can I go swim it?
No, you may not.
How about if I swim in it?
No.
Do you mind if we make a dog in it?
Yeah, I do mind very much, if that's cool.
Yeah, he does mind.
You haven't been using it.
That's not the point, is
He's
it?
going to very soon.
See,
Just 'cause I
Truffs,
haven't
this
been
is
using
funny.
It doesn't mean, like, here, turn it into a dog laboratory.
Well, look at that.
Now that's a dog.
Look at him. He's so cute. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, what's you gonna name him?
Call him something cute like Mr. Something. Like Mr. Balls. Or how about Thunder Pussy.
Shut up, I got a name. And it's Hand Banana. Come here, Hand Banana. Come here.
All those good ones, and that's the one you take.
I admit, he is kind of cute.
Tonight, you.
What do you think he means? Tonight, you. Like he's threatening me or something.
Who the hell are you talking to, Tubbs?
The friggin' ham banana over there. He said, tonight, you.
Come on, Carl. He's the dog. See?
Yeah.
Fucking
just
completely
dog.
different scenes, though.
What the hell? No. Bad boy. You live over there. Go back to the freaks.
You call him boy. My name's Hand Banana.
Why, you talking to me here?
No, not anymore. We're done talking.
Hang on. Let me bend over and pick this thing up again. Hand banana, no! You should... No, he's
Suddenly
not
Red
a
Letter
boy
Media's
anymore.
here.
He's a man. 'Cause he just raped me.
You think you could back that up?
Listen to this guy. Could back that up. I got bruises to prove it.
No, I mean that ass. Back it up. Yeah.
Do you hear what he's saying here?
Sounds like someone wants to get
Aquatine was like
raped
the
again.
OG
Come on,
stoner
Carl.
show.
He hasn't even been here one day. How could he possibly learn the English language?
See, all I know is ball and good and rape.
Yeah, you know it well. I bend over for the remote and boom! You're there!
Watch this.
Yeah, it was a product of its time, though.
I'm sorry, Carl, but I think that you need to leave. You're upsetting Hand Banana.
Yeah, well, he upset me pretty bad, too. I don't know if I could sleep anymore. You ever been raped by a dog? See, I think that's what hell is like, constantly raped by dogs.
Carl.
I don't know if I believe in God, but I think he must hate me.
It is the same voice actor.
The dog that constantly rapes me.
Okay, Carl, that's it. Just go home, all right?
Yeah, just go on
You
home.
need to just go home and lie down for a while.
Face down.
If I see that dog again, he's dead.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
He's dead!
Okay, see ya.
You can have it. It's a bond.
Yeah, C-Lab 2021 and home movies I also watched.
If I could begin to be
It's time to stop.
Yeah, it's about the end of that video, okay? Also, Kaiser finally showed up. We don't need to do a wellness check on him. And he has sent me some things. The first thing, of course, the most important is the Olivia keychain that you can now pre-order from Cave those guys. So I suppose I need to read this out. Is that why you've sent this to me again? Kaiser!
Chibi Olivia guide. No wait, I need some water first. God damn it.
Ugh, my sinus headache is finally going away, but now my throat is ravaged, no. Probably because I've been screaming at Truff stuff. I already pre-ordered one, of course. I probably won't put her on my actual keyring, because I am notorious for losing my keychains. So, I'll find somewhere to hang her.
Chibi Olivia care guide. Feed 3 times per day. Provide painting supplies. Take her with you wherever you go. Hug her at least 1 time per day. Grr.
Yes, very good. And then he sent me like a comic he drew. So let me get that up. Put the music back on while I do this. And at least I know what it's a parody of this time and can probably do it right. Maybe we'll listen to the meme first. Okay, let me just get all the frickin' pictures open in the browser. not sick per se. I have a sinus headache. You know, it's that time of year. It's been very humid. The allergies are coming. Oh yeah, yeah. This is the Edge Runners theme song, but I also already liked Franz Ferdinand, and this is one of the few Franz Ferdinand songs I can play on stream that has revenue share. So you guys get it. All right. So it's the soup store conversation between me and Kaiser. Is what we're going to be looking at. But obviously we should there's Olivia again. We should play the meme so we all know what we're referencing here. So let me turn off the music real quick again.
Hello? Hey, what's up? I need your help. Can you come here? I can't. I'm buying clothes. All right, well, hurry up and come over here. I can't find them. What do you mean you can't find them? I can't find them. There's only soup. What do you mean there's only soup? It means there's only soup. Well, then get out of the soup aisle! All right, you don't have to shout at me! There's more soup! What do you mean there's more soup? There's just more soup! Go into the next aisle! There's still soup! Where are you right now? I'm at soup! What do you mean you're at soup? I mean I'm at soup! What store are you in? I'm at the soup store! Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you!
I did react to Truff's videos already, so we're kind of just wasting time right now, but we might look at another one of her videos. She had an older Steven Universe one, so but the last video was pretty rough. We needed a mental break. Also, Kaiser finally showed up. So here's Kaiser and me having this conversation apparently. Hello? Or you'd be saying hello, I don't know. I made it sound like you picked up. Hello? Hey, what's up? I need your help. Can you log on to Discord? I can't. Skrill is sick and I'm buying her soup. Alright, well, hurry up and log on. I can't find them. What do you mean you can't find them? I can't find them. There's only clothes. What do you mean there's only clothes? I mean there's only clothes. Well, then get out of the clothing aisle. Alright, you don't have to shout at me. There's more clothes. What do you mean there's more clothes? There's just more clothes. Go into the next aisle. There's still clothes! Where are you right now? My accent is becoming less Australian and more like Boston or something, as always happens. I'm at clothes! What do you mean you're at clothes? I mean I'm at clothes! What store are you in? I'm at the clothes store! Why are you buying soup at the clothes store? Fuck you! There you go. There you go. Or Kaiser could record his side if he would prefer. If he's going to dub this. Alright. We have to subject ourselves to more truffs, because I wanted to make the stream go on a little longer. I'm actually going to take a break real quick and use the restroom. So I will leave you guys with Franz Ferdinand for the time being. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okie dokie, I am back. I really wish I wasn't, though. Alright, Truff Stuff did have another Steven Universe video I suppose we could watch. It's 5 years old? It's about unconfirmed theories. Oh yeah, for those asking, I reacted to Truff's Charlie video on the Vivzy Pop Hatedom is Cringe number 5, Charlie Slander Edition. It's the 3rd video on that stream, and it was by far the worst one. Which is how she ended up on my list for SU shit, because I saw she had SU shit, and I was like, God fucking damn it. Now let's see what this other video is about. Let me just check the— no supers, okay, good. Oh. We do have Michigan J. Frog, though. Miss Jasmine, did you send that one? Oh no, it was Cryo Ghost. Thank you. Yeah, so if you're on Twitch, you can do crazy things like that, or throw donuts at the screen, as we are wont to do. I made that one for Billy Donuts. He's not here today. I'm so sad. Oh, Space Frog approves of the frog. You're probably gonna go like fire off 1 billion of those now, aren't you? Okay, let's see if this video is any less fucking unhinged than the last one we just had to suffer through. Again, this one's 5 years. United Kingdom! Is this new? Are we location stamping all videos, or did you do this? What the fuck? This is a nice opening, at least.
At CatPeasant106 sent a super chat. Sigh, could you watch the Bear in the Big Blue House outtake at the end of stream?
I suppose I could. Bear in the Big Blue House outtakes? Okay, I'll leave that up so I remember to look at it at the end of stream. Yes, unfortunately, also British. It's not in her favor. I guess she used to have her Sona on screen, so let's go!
Hi, hello, and welcome to this video. Steven Universe came to its dramatic conclusion a little over a year ago,
okay, so
with the emotional finale of Steven Universe Future. All our adventures as an audience with the crystal gems have come to an end, and we had a fascinating foray into the predictable psychological damage they caused to our protagonist, who, at the end of the day, was a developing child throughout all of it. Famously, one big Steven—
Wow, 5 years ago, your presentation style was way different. It's a lot less annoying. It is an ASMR voice, but I'll take that over her current performance style.
Universe fan theory was proven correct. Like many, I had personally laughed it off.
Mom was Pink Diamond.
So that's me definitively told. But while both of the series and the film are over, not all fan
theories— Oh wait, did you not believe it? Did you not believe Pink Diamond was Rose? Wait a minute.
Proven correct. One big Steven Universe fan theory was proven correct. Like many, I had personally laughed it off.
So you didn't think she was—
Mom was Pink Diamond.
Really? Because, like, I always say, I only got into Steven Universe in 2018, and, so my first watch-through was me playing Spot the Foreshadowing, because the Pink Diamond twist was what got me into the show. Because I was like, oh, Steven's perfect dead mom was a bad guy? What? They, like, actually, like, subverted the whole perfect dead mom thing? That's kind of cool. So that's what made me watch the show in the first place. So I was just sitting there playing Spot the Foreshadowing, like, wow, that must have been mind-blowing in retrospect. Oh, hey, there's a little hint there. There's a little hint here. And it's like, oh, hey, cool. So, yeah, there's no goddamn way that was a last-minute thing, as some people were saying at the time. I was like, no. This was obviously foreshadowed.
But while both of the series and the film are over, not all fan theories were confirmed wrong or right.
Okay.
Some are still left unanswered. A hallmark, I think, of both an imaginative fan base and an expansive fictional universe. Let's take a look at some of them.
You seem to be more positive about the show back then.
In the Steven Universe film, we're introduced to Spinel, pink diamonds made to order
sure
playmate, carelessly abandoned. In the ensuing battle, she wields the Rejuvenator, a scythe that destabilizes and subsequently poofs gems. The theory? This weapon was pink diamonds. With Rose...
Well, I mean, it is pink. We could probably infer, like, much like the destabilizers are based on yellow diamonds' powers and are yellow, this could have been one of Pink's powers.
Zero sent a super chat. Olivia, I need your help. Can you come over? Inco, I can't. I'm buying clothes.
I need your help. Can you come over?
I can't. I'm buying clothes.
Why are you buying clothes in the soup store?
Anyway, but yeah, like the gem destabilizers are yellow, and they work like yellow diamonds' powers. So we could infer that the rejuvenators are something Pink could do. Like, could she reset gems? Could she make them lose their memories? I mean, Steven has a lot of dream and memory-based powers. It's, you know, yeah, but most of all, it's a plot device. It's just a plot device. It was just a way to get the gems reset. As I always say, the crew didn't really give a shit about hard lore when it came to the gems. It was never their priority. I mean, I'm sorry, it just wasn't. But even it being a scythe was just, it's just a scythe because it looks cool. Like, they said somebody shouted it out in, like, a writing meeting, and they went, yes! And sometimes that's all it is. The creative process can be goofy and stupid sometimes. You know, it's not all mystical.
/ Pink Diamond, viewed by the Crystal Gems as a hero, by and large, this seems like a strange conclusion, but bear with me.
Rose is a hero,
The one
not
obvious
Pink.
thing to point out, it's pink.
It's a little obvious.
Yeah.
But it's also worth pointing out that not only is a former servant of Pink's wielding this pink weapon, but think about the name, the Rejuvenator. The other diamond's powers are related to aspects of their characters, with Pink Diamond being the baby of the group, both in age and level of maturity, a weapon that
Well, also, we've seen that their powers can reverse in future, depending on their mindset. So obviously Pink's powers went from destruction to healing, just like Blue's powers went from making people sad to making them glad, and Yellow's went from deconstructing gem bodies to reconstructing them, and White's went from controlling other people, letting other people control her, you know? So, yeah. Pink's original power set was destructive because of the way she was raised and repressed and her mental state.
resets a gem to a state of pure
The scythe is
naivete
extremely
probably
anime.
fits her fairly well. That or White Diamond. But there's that pink coloration to think about too. I don't know, maybe that approach is a stretch, but I think there's some weight behind it.
So your presentation style in this older video is less annoying, but you sound way more smug and pretentious.
When Steven is reunited with the Diamonds as Pink Diamond, Garnet expresses concern that Blue Diamond might hurt him, because she's a Shatterer. In the answer, Garnet recalls Ruby being told that she will be broken for her disruption of the court, and between that and the cluster, we can be pretty certain that gem shattering is at least a known, if not frequent, penalty issued under the Diamond Autocracy. With this in mind, poofing gems seems relatively humane. Remember too that Pink was—
Well, it's not just to poof them, it's to reset them completely, like, factory reset, so that they don't even remember rebelling and go back to being obedient servants. And it makes sense, because it seems like after they lost Pink, Yellow went into overdrive on how to keep gems useful. Which is why she did, like, the force fusion experiments on the cluster. Like, what do we do with all these shards? Let's make them useful in some way by fusing them all together, and maybe we'll get a functional gem out of it. You know, it's like the line I said earlier where Yellow is basically scapegoating Pink for them blasting the Earth. The line she actually says is, "You made us waste so many perfectly adequate gems." So, it seems like they were way more liberal with shattering gems in the beginning, because it's like, oh, this one didn't come out perfectly, shatter her. Or this one is not, you know, up to her tasks, shatter her. But then after a while, they couldn't afford to waste gems so much, especially with them all, like, a bunch of them getting shattered in the war. So, again, this is, like, a lot of inference. But I think these are things you could logically conclude from what we're shown in the story, you know? So, like, yeah, but again, the Rejuvenator is a retcon, just like Spinella is a retcon. Retcons aren't always bad. She does fit nicely into the story, and they give a logical reason why we've never seen her before, you know? Rejuvenators, not so much. They were never mentioned before, but still, it's not impossible for them to have existed previously. But it is kind of a plot point for the movie, mostly.
Is always trying to get around the other Diamond's more tyrannical wishes. She wanted to do her own thing, and her love of the pebbles, for instance, is a good example of how indiscriminate her care for gems was.
Well, these are also, like, literally Cinderella's mice that... like, yeah. You know, is the vibe.
That being said, we also hear from Pink herself, in her original form, that she would be berated by Blue and Yellow for not doing as they asked.
Yeah.
We hear some more of this in The Answer too. She wouldn't be able to get away with never disciplining gems, but she could, conceivably, find a non-fatal way around it, and meet the older Diamonds halfway.
I mean, maybe? I mean, all Bismuth says about Rejuvenators is that they used them during the war. I mean, they could have existed before that. But again, like I said, lore was never a giant priority for the Crooniverse. It's very blatantly obvious that they weren't really writing, like, a lore series. You know, they introduced things you could use in your own, like, fanfic and stuff, and you could expand on if you wanted to. It really wasn't the focus, really wasn't the priority. At least I can have a calmer reaction to this fucking video. It's kind of refreshing.
We learn quite early on in the series of the tragedy of gem corruption. Stephen shows empathy towards this centipedal that the other crystal gems seem a little hesitant about, and not entirely without reason.
Well, I mean, it's like looking at a person with leprosy to them, probably. I mean...
Corrupted gems must be a disturbing thing to look at, especially from a crystal gem perspective.
Especially since, Rose, Garnet, and Pearl were, like, the only ones not corrupted after the blast, and slowly all the other gems started to reform into monsters, and that must have been fucking horrifying!
Reversibly shadows of themselves, the corrupted are a testament to what happens when you incur the wrath of the Diamonds. They are part of the price paid for the
Diamonds didn't even do it on
war.
Purpose.
In Your Mother and Mine, we see Rose grab Pearl and Garnet and shield them from the blast of the Diamonds. The blast confirmed to have been what corrupted gems like the centipedals.
Yes.
Blue Diamond later expresses shock that any gems at all survived. This had me thinking. Really activated my almonds. Note two things here. Not only is it a surprise to the other Diamonds, presumably white as well, that gems on the Earth's surface were not in fact obliterated, but note also that Pink/Rose, and also Stephen, cannot heal every gem affliction.
Yeah, come on, you can get there.
This is
You
kind
can
of
get there.
the
You can
whole
do it.
shtick behind Rose's garden. What this might mean is that corruption occurred rather than the intended annihilation, because one of the four Diamonds was missing.
Yes,
Total
exactly.
healing and
Finally, you got to the
destruction.
fucking point. That's also my theory. Like, okay, finally I can agree with you on something, Truffs. Yeah, like, what? If they didn't intend corruption and they're surprised by it, what were they trying to do? Is my question. Like, if they had Pink, would they have been able to nullify every single gem on Earth? Like, that seems like what they were trying to do, which is kind of a horrifying idea. Like, have they done that before?
Of gems are two
Or is this the only time a
sides of the
rebellion
same
got
coin,
completely out of control?
And both necessitate all the Diamonds' involvement.
Or the only rebellion they ever
Without
had,
Pink in
even.
the charge, Yellow could ruin gems' forms, White could ruin them neurologically, and Blue could sap their will to
Why were you smarter 5 years ago? What the fuck happened to you?
keep fighting, but the gems hit by the blast would still be anchored to existence by Pink's element, what the other diamonds couldn't destroy, even together. The soul,
Yeah, that's
essentially.
more symbology of them not being able to
Note
destroy
also
Pink.
that when
yeah.
Steven demands that Blue and Yellow heal Senti, the aspects of her that they can fix correspond to their individual powers. We know already that Steven can restore a corrupted gem's sanity and a bit of her.
Well, we can see once upon a time, Truff was able to observe things in a story and come to the conclusion that the story is giving this information on purpose, instead of trying to outsmart the story. I guess this is before you caught internet brain rot.
Physical form, to some extent. We saw it in Monster Buddies, where, temporarily, Senti illustrates and writes her story for Steven.
Yeah, back when fandoms used to be fun and it wasn't just a bunch of people trying to, like, scream at each other about politics and be smarter than the show and backstab people, yeah.
Judging by the reaction she has when Blue and Yellow just turn up at her ship, I think the healing Steven did to her spirit is permanent. She seems aware of her surroundings, in contrast to the panicked scrambling that happens when she's released from her bubble in Monster Buddies.
She knows
However,
Steven,
though
too,
Yellow Diamond promises to reduce the horns characteristic of corruption in Homeworld Bound, note she only offers to reduce the horns, not eliminate them. Also, notice how
Well, she probably can't. But also, I honest to God think that line was just there for, like, fan character design, so if you wanted a previously corrupted quartz without horns, you could have an explanation for it.
even with the essence of all 4 diamonds, a corrupted quartz soldier still comes out visibly marked by the corruption.
Yeah.
This suggests to me that there must be some sort of limit to reversing this. If so, even if it's still the case that leading a blast targeted at the Earth—
Honestly, I think they came up with Jasper's uncorrupted form first and designed other uncorrupted quartzes based on that retroactively. That's my theory anyway.
without one of the 4 diamonds doomed it to failure, maybe there's more to corruption and
Just imagine if we had gotten uncorrupted Jasper early, training Steven to face the diamonds. That would have been awesome if the show had been 7 seasons or something.
When Steven defeated White Diamond by calling her a bitch, we learned that she sees Pink as a manifestation of all things imperfect about her character. White flushes a pink colour, and she loses her mind control over all the gems present, including Pink Diamond's original pearl. We know from this that White can sap the minds out of gems. But we also see in Homeworld
She
Bound
doesn't, like, sap the minds out of them, she, like, supersedes them.
how the diamonds can reverse these destructive abilities.
Yes.
Blue can fill creatures with joy.
Again, just like Rose's powers went from destructive as Pink to healing as Rose. Yes, all the diamonds have different powers depending on their mindset because they're just fucking space gods who can pull techniques out of their asses.
Yellow can repair gems as well as destabilize them, and White can give you the power to control.
My theory is they weren't even aware they could do this
The episode
previously.
Volleyball also tells us that Pink reversed her destructive, tantrum-throwing capabilities to heal those around her, instead of—
Yeah, that Steven is now getting because he is an angsty teenager. Yeah, that is the point of future, yes.
Yes, we do see White reversing her power of mind control in one way, but is this necessarily exhaustive? If Blue can control all things emotional, it stands to reason that her powers aren't limited to making you cry versus making you laugh.
I mean, maybe.
As well as take over a consciousness, maybe White can imbue consciousness into other things. That is to say, maybe she can create life.
Well, I mean, it seems like the diamonds can't make fucking anything that doesn't have some level of consciousness. Like, even the architecture on Homeworld is, like, alive. You know, it's almost like they don't know how to make anything else.
Diamond life. The theory here is that White, the queen bee, the matriarch among all the diamonds, the big
She is the
baloney,
queen bee.
imbued all her perceived imperfections into a new—
Yeah, I don't buy the theory that she made the other diamonds.
If a
I think they all
perfect
hatched out of
outlet for
Homeworld.
maturity were the only reason behind Pink's birth, however, we wouldn't expect this nearly omnipotent god among gods to fail
This
so
song might be too
badly
much for such a
that she
quiet
flushes
video.
Pink as a symbol of how that immaturity is still very much a part of her,
Yeah,
and one
sure,
she can't fully control. at
Kanabari
that.
music.
If this theory is true, then surely the other 3 diamonds exist as a means to delegate necessary parts of being a tyrannical god queen, or any sentient being, really.
This one's getting boring.
Like parts of a whole. Yellow's
I miss you being cringe,
volatility,
almost.
and physical power are all needed to control armies and expand territory. She represents the physical and strength. Blue is needed to show mercy where necessary, and to be a grounding presence.
Well, it kind of seems like Blue was a lot more cold and tyrannical before Pink, quote-unquote, died. Because when we get glimpses of Blue in the past, she, like, immediately is like, shatter these gems for their insult, and you know, this colony will be completed, Pink. She seemed a lot more ruthless back in the past. It would be interesting to see what she used to be like. She only became this crying mess after Pink died, or seemingly died, you know, or faked her own death. So, I don't know, from the brief glimpses we get of her in the past, it seems like Blue was a lot more ruthless.
Presents emotion. And Pink is an inevitable part of everyone. The inner child, the sense of wonder that drives innovation, the excitement. She is the embodiment of the bleeding heart. It also isn't an unreasonable power. Granted, it's only a fake gem, but we do see Pink Diamond crush dirt hard enough that it becomes a pink shard, and a convincing one at that. It looks as though even the youngest diamond can create
hey,
a physical
check it out, Pearl, I made a dead body!
by hand, rather than just en masse. What if at least one of them could do more? Surely that would be White Diamond?
Yeah, like, oh god. What are you gonna say about Pearls? But, no, yeah, like, we didn't learn a lot about White. Maybe we would have learned more about her if the show got to be longer than it was, but, c'est la vie.
We now know what all the personal assistants, the pearls, assigned to each of the 4 diamonds look like.
Yes.
They all have the same gem placement and coloration as their diamond. But this isn't where the similarities end. Take a look. Our Pearl, who we now know to be the original White Pearl...
word of God is she wasn't originally White Diamond's Pearl. I do have a theory, though, that Pearl, she has the colors of all 4 diamonds. So to me, it seems like maybe she was made to keep an eye on Pink and report back to the other diamonds on her, and instead she fucking seduced her and ran away with her, and they started a war. So that didn't work out very well.
And White Diamond both have the same sort of gelled updo kind of hairstyle. Blue Diamond and Blue Pearl have the same weighed down hair and floaty clothing.
We also saw
Yellow
in future that you can
Diamond and Yellow
customize
Pearl both have that
pearls,
sharp,
so...
pointed hairstyle. Pink Diamond and her original Pink Pearl might share the same voluminous hair, but this can't quite be confirmed with Pink Pearl's, or Volleyball's, hairdo. The theory is that the personal pearls for the diamonds are not only reflections of how much they're deeply programmed to love their masters, but also to make it easier to return them to their masters if they...
Well, no, I mean, you would think the diamonds would have, like, the fanciest pearls possible, too, because, like, remember when Peridot is just mouthing off, revealing that pearls are accessories and servants, she was, like, saying that Pearl is a particularly fancy one, you know, and she was kind of impressed.
They were to ever run away, or become defective.
I don't, like, it doesn't seem like White has any of her own, like, subjects, probably because she sees everyone else as her court. Because, like, Blue has a court, Yellow has a court, Pink has a court, and White just has everyone else. Like, including them.
Although Rose's rebellion contained a lot of new heretical elements that were unheard of to gem kind, like condoning the fusion of 2 different gem types, I refuse to believe that dissent was so inconceivable that the diamonds would make 0 preparations to mitigate it. This
But it was! That's the point! The idea of any gem stepping out of line and being something other than what they were made to be was pretty inconceivable on Homeworld. Yes, that's why the rebellion was such an upset. You know, like, and Pink was so naive, she thought she could just scare everybody off Earth and that would work. You know, it's possible there's never been a fucking rebellion before, given the way gem kind operates, you know? And Pink was that rebellious spirit. So no, that's the entire point with gems. They are not expected to be anything but what they are. It's like how, even in this flashback you're showing, it's talked about how Sapphire, like, just thought life was completely predictable and everything would play out the way she saw because she had no experience with things being able to be any different, you know? And that's the thing with fucking, you know, gems coming to Earth and only changing when they have new experiences and new information. They didn't know life could be any other way. Why would they? That's the whole point. They learn you can be more than what you were made to be.
I have been one of them. After all, the Diamond's personal pearls must be privy to all sorts of secrets, outbursts, and private business.
It's not on screen, but I do like the idea that pearls gossip with each other.
Dark.
Yeah, pool hopping!
In Homeworld Bound, however, we saw a purple pearl showing around a group of tourist gems.
Yeah?
I think it's pretty safe to say that there are no purple diamonds, but that the purple tour guide pearl...
But they have said before that pearls can belong to other gems besides diamonds. Like, other high-ranking gem types have pearls. Like Eyeball Ruby was fantasizing about being given her own pearl if she brought in rose quartz. You know, when she was trying to fucking shank Steven in space.
Well, neither supports nor refutes this theory, because not every pearl is designed as a personal assistant to a diamond.
Well, fucking...
Peridot is
anyone who's seen the
Steven's
show knows
first
that!
Introduction to the idea that pearls are dime a dozen servant gems, and belong to high-ranking officials, as well as diamonds.
Dime a dozen. She says hundreds
Peridot
of
is
pearls.
delighted
It's
at the
not a
idea that
lot.
she was considered important enough to get one of her own.
They're a luxury.
This role of servitude that pearls are built to fulfill actually lends this rather dark theory some credence, and that servile nature is something we see and hear plenty of evidence for in the show.
That's just where you're fucking ending? Yeah, pearls are series, I mean, yeah! Now you're all just saying
It's been
pool hopping.
established that the Earth Kindergartens housing new quartz soldiers were destructive. Pink Diamond, although initially thrilled to be creating life from nothing, realizes the toll gem creation takes on the environment. It leaches nutrients from the soil, killing nearby plant life, and appears to cause such drastic subsidence problems that the areas around the Earth Kindergartens are falling to bits. Maybe this environmental fragility is why...
It sucked up all the life in those areas so much it can't even be recovered. Like, Peridot tries. She tries to, like, plant flowers there, and it just doesn't work.
Both Holly Blue and Yellow Diamond scorn earthen quartzes for their low quality, but not all gems are like quartzes. We've already seen in volleyball that pearls can be rejuvenated in shell-like dens, and that could
be... anybody can be rejuvenated, but this also shows that rejuvenators didn't just come in, like, pink diamond scythes. They came in other technology, so, you know...
Where they're made. And given what pearls actually are in real life, it does make some sense. Underwater kindergartens may come into play with gems like lapis lazulis and aquamarines. We see that all...
No, because those aren't actually formed in water. You know, like, pearls are formed in clams and oysters underwater, yeah, so they're not even gemstones. That's the thing. Pearls aren't gemstones. They're just lumped in with gemstones because they're used for jewelry a lot. So, you know, but they're not gemstones at all. They're actually made out of organic material.
All lapis lazulis have the ability to summon water wings, and that the same goes for aquamarines. We associate...
Yeah, because fucking Blue Diamond has water powers and blue gems come from her. That's why they're all bitches.
A lot of fictional creatures forged from the ground with physical strength and sturdiness, so it makes sense that, while gems born of dirt and hard rock are rugged and powerful as grunts, these water-oriented gems develop by drawing...
Well, figure out how lapis lazulis form and you'll have your fucking answer.
...their power from watery environments. It's great to see fans still making theories. Not every fanbase survives a year after the show ends for good, but here we are.
Is that the ending of the video?
Thanks for watching.
So if with the 5 years later, you flashing porn at people and, like, fucking hating the show. That's so fucking interesting. What happened to you? What happened to you?
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Stream idea. Playing Dustborn for 7 billion super eternities.
I've already done Dustborn. I'm not doing it again.
8328 sent a super chat. In code tax. My Olivia. You're Olivia. Green Olivia.
My Olivia! You're Olivia! Green Olivia! I'm getting a lot of Inco requests today. What is that about? Yeah, obviously, Lapis is a mean girl bitch because she comes from Blue Diamond, the ultimate mean girl bitch. Obviously. Have you noticed that though? Like, all, like, pure blue gems are, like, so fucking bitchy. They take after blue. It's like how I say, like, Jasper must be, like, you know, a mix of Yellow Diamond and Pink Diamond, and she just got, like, the worst, most angry traits from both of them. So anyway, let's watch the Bear in the Big Blue House fucking outtake, and then I don't know what else we're gonna do. We might wrap up soon. Might just wrap up at 5, and then Celtic Phoenix and crew are gonna start in an hour. I'm probably gonna be sitting in chat for that one, so...
Oh, come on, Ocho, come on, hurry up! Yeah, this thing's a piece of shit. Let's go do something else.
Yeah, come on, Hobag, give me chicken pot pie!
Hey, you squeezy little mouse, go get it your sorry ass self!
Don't talk to me like that, bitch!
Get out of my way, you piece of shit!
I love how they stayed in character. That's great. That's great. Dude, I mean, do we want to throw in Truff's fucking BoJack video just for the hell of it, guys? What do you think? Maybe I'll make a poll on
At Mr. The Boss Baby 6969 send a super chat. Sorry that I was late. I was playing Mafia 3.
Well, you missed everything, goddammit. But we might watch one of Truff's other videos for fucking BoJack Horseman, just because. You know, it's another thing I really like. Let's see how she fucking misunderstands that. Okay, let's see. How we doing? Alright, looks like a lot of you have an above average interest. It's only 10 minutes long. So, you guys have an above average interest in the BoJack video. Okay, so that's cool.
Jessel sent a super chat. This was a kids show sigh on Glow.
I mean, do you know that the actors behind kids shows still like swear in their day-to-day life? Like, hey, got a second. Have you ever seen Trigger Lyle Conway? Have you ever seen the Thundercats outtakes? Hang on a second. This is important.
At Savage for Life 8328 sent a super chat. I'm sorry for the info request, sigh. I was just watching your.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny because like I don't get Inco talk tax a lot. So I was just like, what is today? But yes, we need to watch these.
You fuck. I should have known the Territor didn't mean us any harm when the Sword of Omens didn't obey me. And anyway, it was just plain stupid to assume it might be bad. Just what the fuck am I talking about?
It's when Wily Cat and Kid are pretending to be the most helpful that they're dropping their pens on the thing while I'm talking. Let's find the mega condenser. I'm saying that too fast. Let's find the mega condenser. Still going too fast.
What's wrong, Lion-O?
Oh, fuck, here it is again.
What's here again?
That thing, that mega thing.
Want me to say it?
Yes!
I'm going to put this one right between her pretty.
That's the line of the show right here.
And keep your foot off that blasted Samo flange.
What the fuck is a Samo flange?
I have to do that again.
Oh, Lion-O! We're not...
What's the matter, Snarf?
You got a cold.
Motherfucker!
You fucking dog, yeah!
Shut the fuck up! Get over here, bitch!
Ah, damn!
Run out the fucking plank, boys! Come here, motherfucker. Thunder! Thunder!
Yeah, these are real!
Thundercats! I'm going too high.
You've got to get back to the lair, Panthro, before those mutants do something drastic.
Come on, I mean, get yourself together. Go ahead, just
I want to see your tits, my dear.
Can't stand it. Going to.
Pass
Can't hold on to it any longer.
Like, no, we're not gonna watch any more outtakes, damn it. We're gonna get to the damn BoJack video, and then I'm gonna send you guys to Celtic Phoenix. But yes, voice actor bloopers are fun.
At Mr. DeBoss Baby 69.
Although, fuck, you
send a
super chatted it, though.
While we're at it, Orson
Fine.
Welles champagne outtakes.
Champagne outtakes. That's only a minute, there we go. Orson Welles hated being an advertiser.
Turn camera.
Hated it.
102, take 1. With overlap, action please.
Action. Drunk off his ass already?
You just do anything?
No, it's sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling. 102, take 2.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by
This is my
Paul
drunk
Masson,
streams.
inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take 3.
The people standing there know what's up.
Action, please.
That lady, she's smoking at him.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
God damn it. Oh god, it's like the fucking pee commercial too. Like, he fucking hated being in ads. He absolutely fucking resented it. I don't know why he was in them. Let's see what Trev said about BoJack Horseman 3 years ago as a fucking bonus before I send you guys off to Celtic Phoenix.
I guess my question is, do you think it's too late for me?
I haven't had many chances to get mad at people over BoJack, so this will be a good taste of it.
What? Ah, Sad Horse Show. A running theme of BoJack Horseman is generational trauma. That's not something passed on by blood, but it can sometimes be passed on through blood. That is to say, inflicting your trauma on others is not a future you are doomed to because of your history. The cycle can be broken. This is a really positive message, as well as a sobering one for some.
I mean, it's also about what fame and Hollywood fucking does to people. That's a bigger one, but okay.
But it wouldn't be quite in true BoJack Horseman style without an additional hefty dose of grit, disaster, and clinical depression. Yay! I think this idea, that it isn't too late for you to make different choices to those who came before you, family or not, is the core theme of the show, not just one of them.
Is it? Do you remember Free Churro? Do you remember how he had a whole monologue about how he never really got to know or reconcile with his mother before she died? I mean, he kinda... No, he didn't fail to pass on the trauma. He fucked up pretty bad with Hollyhock.
Every one of our main cast in BoJack Horseman tells us this. So, let's go. Princess Carolyn. Princess Carolyn spent a lot of her life and a lot of the show attached to BoJack at the hip.
Ah, it's Pink Zircon. I joke that she's Pink Zircon because it's Amy Sedaris again.
Just not in the same way that, say, Todd was. As a longtime girlfriend and as an agent, she was always there to clean up his messes, to manage his emotions for him, for all the good that did, and to force him, as far as possible, into the good decisions he should have been making for himself as a grown, horse. And
then she realizes that, while she appreciates that time with him, it was bad for her, and then she marries, Judah Man Now Dog. You know, so it ends up good for her.
And this weighed on her. This pattern of behaviour didn't even start with BoJack. In Season 3's Best Thing That Ever Happened...
How do you know how to do this?
My mom was a living maid for a rich family. She had a little trouble bending her elbow too much. Glug, glug.
To Season 5's The Amelia Earhart story, we see that PC was raised by a similarly needy, toxic addict who took personally any reasonable choices other people independently made. PC's mother, for example, openly made PC choosing to move away into a problem, citing her own home struggles, choosing to conflate healthy support from her daughter with servitude under a veneer of love as an ultimate guilt trip, just to get Princess Carolyn to do what she wanted.
Pretty obvious,
and yet,
yeah.
for all the 40-plus years that PC has internalized, reinforced, and practiced this mentality of burning herself out for others, but also rightly not giving up on her ambitions, PC isn't doomed to burn herself out forever. And she starts noticing her behaviour for what it is, being neglectful to herself, largely. Slowly, she starts putting more thought into what she actually needs and wants, and learns, again, very slowly.
Well, I mean, she wanted a kid and a family, and she did get that in the end, just not in the way she expected to. She ended up adopting a kid, and Judah professed his love for her, and she realized, oh yeah, I kind of love him back. Wow.
To look at herself in a more balanced way, instead of just lambasting herself for perceived shortcomings. She drops Bojack as a client, eventually stops cleaning up his personal messes, learns to delegate, and builds a family of her own after years of pining for one. She even learns that she doesn't have to do it all at once, or be perfect as a mother, a message that women very much need to hear, in my opinion. The clearest, most potent sign of her life changing for the better is something brought up a lot. Her inviting Bojack to her industry wedding, as opposed to the do for friends and family only. During the last talk, she acknowledges her past, smiles about it, but doesn't revert to her old ways.
I mean, this was also after everything he did, and after everyone learned that he sort of let Sarah Lynn die.
It wasn't too late for her. Diane. Diane is a perfectionist with early life baggage too, but to a greater degree than Princess Carolyn. She has ongoing mental health problems.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but
comes across as unflinchingly together at the first moment we meet her as Bojack's ghostwriter.
I don't know if Diane is damaged enough to tell my story. She's so functional.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Horseman. She's too functional.
She
Why don't I
trying
just
to
get
get
on
good
the phone
damage
and
is
call
not
a
good
less
for
functional?
creativity.
What are you talking about?
Her own father's death doesn't seem to outwardly faze her. She doesn't break stride, she just changes her plan.
Well, this is also when the show was in its really early Family Guy-like stuff. Much like Steven Universe, BoJack Horseman starts out kind of awkward, aping other shows, and then it blossoms into something very unique and very worthwhile. But for BoJack, it only takes 6 episodes.
And they make a brief stop in Boston for it.
Diane is great. I love Diane.
Oh my god.
Did we talk about...
Good Damage is my absolute favorite episode of this show. And I did show that episode to a friend of mine, and she ended up binging the entire show on my account, but it's
Coming up
okay.
the release date? I was thinking late September.
I am so sorry.
It's fine. He was old and also the worst.
Such a terrible tragedy. Really puts everything in perspective. Where does that leave us as far as the book of it all?
However, the more we get to know Diane through this episode, and many more, the more we see her inner demons, so to speak. She doesn't just struggle with her mental health, she struggles against her poor mental health. Diane's expectations for herself are higher than reasonable. She sets expectations for herself as if she has no mental health problems at all, because we're shown increasingly that she doesn't think she deserves to feel bad, as shown...
She doesn't think she deserves to feel bad? No, her boyfriend right here, Guy, the guy she ends up with in the end, is telling, like, he flat out tells her, like, I don't fetishize my sadness like you do, you know? Like, he calls her out on it, like, you believe you have to be depressed to be an artist, basically, and to be, like, a serious book writer, and that's bullshit. You know, you're just wallowing in fetishizing your sadness. So no, she kind of thinks she deserves to feel bad, and and that's what Good Damage is all about. Diane thinks if she doesn't use her trauma to write her big, important book of essays, then her trauma was just trauma, and it wasn't worth something if she can't turn it into something. But she does end up, much like Princess Carolyn, she ends up at her goal in a way she didn't expect. Because that's what Good Damage is about. While she's trying to write this big, important book of essays she feels like she needs to write to be a big, serious writer chick, she ends up accidentally stumbling across writing this middle school level food court detective series. Like, she keeps zoning out and writing that instead without, like, even realizing it. And so the whole thing is her struggle about how she wants to write this big, serious book, but this thing, this more colorful thing keeps popping into her head. And it kind of is going to accomplish the same goals that she wanted. She wants there to be something for girls who are like her, like she was when she was young, that can, you know, support them and make them feel good about themselves. But she thinks it's, like, beneath her. But then her boyfriend ends up sending off her food court detective book to Princess Carolyn for the deadline. And she's like, how could you do this? But then Princess Carolyn is like, oh my god, I love it! I love it! It's so good! I could see my kid reading this when she's a little older. Or listening to an audiobook if she's not a reader. You know? Something like that. And Diane's like, I have to write my book of essays. She's like, why? Why do you need to write your book of essays? This is much more interesting than your essays about your boring life. And I can tell you had fun reading it, and I enjoyed reading it. And Diane's like, but if I don't use my damage, it's not good damage, it's just damage. You know, so that's her whole struggle. Like, you know, she has trauma. She is kind of like, you know, she has like darkness in her, but she falls, you know, flat on her ass writing this colorful, cheerful thing instead that still speaks so much to her and what she wants to put across, and I really relate to that, you know? It's the best episode.
Feel bad, as shown through her scattered inner monologue as she tries to write.
Yeah, and this little animated sequence
Name one
is great.
example of me being a bad dad.
Okay.
How did you not get Netflix on your ass for showing this much footage, though? God.
What about how you made me lose on purpose at Boggle so my brothers would think they were, quote, wicked smarter than a girl?
That's all you got?
I got other things.
And even when she recognizes that she feels bad, she feels compelled to directly make something of it, as in Season 6's Good Damage.
But I don't want to write a middle-grade fiction detective series.
I think you do, though. Because when I was reading it, I could tell you were having fun.
Yeah, but I'm not writing a book to have fun. If I don't write my book of essays now, I never will.
So, don't write your book of essays.
I have to.
Why?
Because if I don't, that means that all the damage I got isn't good damage. It's just damage.
That's exactly the line I was just talking about, actually. But yeah, I love this conversation so much. I love how Princess Carolyn and Diane become, like, friends. By like Season 3, they've kind of become friends.
It's a very, very hard mentality to unlearn, especially for people who see themselves as underachieving if they slow down for even a second. But eventually,
Yeah.
Diane recognizes that even if you're very goal-oriented, rest isn't earned by achieving goals, it's necessary for achieving them, as well as just, you know, keeping you alive. And although Diane never seems to fully love herself in the series, she accepts at least some of the things that she is, wants, and needs. This comes in the form of her relationship with Guy, of Chicago, drafting Ivy Tran stories, and actually...
That's one of my favorite jokes in the show. It's very subtle, but toward the end, she ends up just dating this guy named Guy, and he's just a guy. He's not a celebrity, he's not rich, he's just a guy. And his son's name is Sonny, and his ex-wife's name is Lady, so he's just a guy with a son who is married to some lady. I fucking love that so much.
taking her antidepressants. Diane's journey is a roller coaster throughout the show, but she ends it in an immensely better place than she started. Mr. Peanut Butter, out of all your main...
Yeah, well, in the conversation she has with Bojack at the end, she shows that she has now married Guy, and she says she doesn't always trust the happiness, but she trusts him. And it's a very beautiful conversation they have.
Is it in an immensely...
But yeah, I love it. He's just a guy named Guy. I fucking love that
than
shit.
She started.
The show
Mr.
is goofy
Peanut Butter.
like that.
Out of all your main cast, you might expect Mr. Peanut Butter to change the least. In fact, that's kind of a theme with him. He starts out as the anti-Bojack. The rip-off star whose obnoxious on-screen bumbling cheer is actually genuine somehow.
What is this, a crossover episode? That's what I'm always quoting.
He stands out amongst the other protagonists, because as much as being the face of depression is a late show gag with him, he really doesn't seem to have deep inner turmoil. He gets upset very occasionally, sure, like anyone, but it's not a festering pit of suffering, you know? Yet he does have a major problem at the start of the show. The boundless energy and repetition that make his career so successful, his public image so consistent, is exactly what brings down his personal life. Season 5's Mr. Peanut Butter's Booze is a perfect, concise illustration of how he's in such a reliable cycle in his personal choices, no matter how old he gets, that he even makes the same dating choices over and over and over, and the relationships all fall apart for the same reasons, over and over and over. But with Diane's help, and after the horrible end to his relationship with Pickles the waitress, he finally seems to acknowledge that he is making the same choices over and over. And after Pickles, although the show doesn't cover much more time, to his credit we don't see him courting another 20-something-year-old. It's hard to judge, but it seems like he—
Okay, so you're barely saying what the problem is. The thing with Mr. Peanut Butter is, he keeps marrying younger women, younger and younger. He's like in his 50s, and he keeps like hooking up with like women around in their 20s, and he keeps getting married, and then Diane directly tells him, because Diane was married to him too for a little while. She's like, you meet these girls when they're young, you know, you're fun then, but as they mature and you don't, it becomes a problem. So yeah, dating Pickles really is what... So right after he divorced Diane, he of course has to be in a relationship. He's one of those people, he has to be with somebody. So he starts dating Pickles, this like 23-year-old waitress, and he's like nearly 50 or in his 50s. And like, I think what really hits him when they're at this Halloween party, and he's like, oh, we started this Halloween party back in like 1995, and she's like, that's the year I was born, and he's like, oh, wow, you know?
might also be doing something different with his life, including the whole face of depression thing. Diane says that his girlfriends and wives all outgrow him because they start out so young, but I don't think that's quite the right assessment.
No,
Mr. Peanut Butter just isn't a person to grow old with, as he currently is. And it's a good thing he ends the series alone for once, not a sad thing. Not everyone has to, or should be with someone.
It's good for him to, like, not be in another shotgun relationship.
Todd was my least favorite character by a long shot, for a long time.
Wait, Todd? You hate Todd? Wait, did you just say you hate Todd? Hold up a second! Honestly, hearing Aaron Paul in this show was one of the reasons I finally watched Breaking Bad. I've told that story before. I mean, I already love Bryan Cranston, of course. I was a Malcolm in the Middle fan. But I hadn't watched Breaking Bad yet. But then I saw Giancarlo Esposito in The Boys. And I saw Aaron Paul in this show. And I was like, man, I like them both a lot. Maybe I should finally watch Breaking Bad. But did you just say you fucking hate Todd? Who can hate Todd? It's like hating a puppy!
Favorite character by a long shot. For a long... Todd. Todd was my least favorite character by a long shot.
Least favorite, but still...
For a long time. He's
Never
got that little
drawing so fast
thing, and he's unrelentingly presented as a cute disaster. And on my first few watch-throughs, I found him really irritating. The endless goofing and hijinks seemingly presented just for the sake of it, unlike how Mr. Peanut Butter is a contrast to BoJack, very deliberately. It just annoyed me. I watch BoJack expecting what it usually is, a show about self-reflection and mental health with the odd sardonic quip, and
the odd sardonic quip? It's a comedy! It's a comedy! Yes, it has dramatic moments. Yes, it has some really heartfelt moments. But it's a comedy. I always say all the best comedies have some drama, and all the best drama has some comedy. But it is primarily... I mean, when it isn't sardonic quips, it's Looney Tunes shit happening in the background. Like a rooster jogging by the house going, "It's morning!" Or the cow glaring at a guy she's serving a burger to. You know? Shit like that happening in the background. Like, no, what is with people thinking, like, BoJack is all about mental health? Just because it gets into it a lot, because a bunch of, like, depressed comedians wrote it, you know? Depressed comedian, that's an oxymoron.
At Mr. DeBossBaby6969 send a super chat. BoJack is horse gob.
Gob, not God.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Put your happy shoes on. Musical notes emoji.
Don't stop dancing.
At Savage for Life for an 8328 sent a super chat. Kelsey would hate Truff for that 10GL. Crying face emoji.
Yeah, exactly. Kelsey is like how I am with, like, cute little Latino YouTubers. It's like, I like your face, kid. You have a very calming face. I'm gonna subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Generally really dark topics. It felt like Todd came from a completely different show to me. But as more seasons came out, that changed. Especially from season 4 onwards. See Hooray Todd episode.
Oh, Gab from Arrested Development. Okay, yeah, I get you.
Todd is revealed to be endlessly thinking of others, and it puts his previous features in the show in a new light. I started appreciating him a lot more after a while. He spends
honestly, that's every character. It's kind of interesting thing about BoJack is, it starts out with a lot of, like, just rote adult show humor, like, oh, look at Sarah Lynn, she's a crazy former child star, ha 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 ha, look at Todd, he's a stoner, you know, look at Princess Carolyn, she's a workaholic. But, like, over time, they started subverting these one-dimensional archetypes and actually building on them. Hey, Billy Donuts, there you are! I've played the donut signal, like, twice now. Let's play it again for good measure. I am running long today, so, we decided we're watching one of Truff's BoJack Horseman videos, just because I kind of felt like it. Everybody else was kind of interested too. And then I'm gonna send you guys off to Celtic Phoenix. They're gonna be going live in an hour, so.
They running around for the sake of others, but isn't perceived as a good friend or even a reliable odd jobs man. Everyone still sees him as a cutesy, incompetent disaster who has nothing better to do than to play errand boy. And we don't see him outwardly bothered by it until a long, long way into the show's run.
He becomes a CEO at one point. He wins the mayoral ski race at another point. Come on!
We also see some really horrible things happen to him. BoJack betrays him by sleeping with Emily, constantly berates him, and, you know, I might even just do a whole video on his relationship with both of his parents. So it's extra satisfying to see him start expressing boundaries, and I think that starts with him openly expressing that he's asexual. It's a nice scene, and for once BoJack isn't making insincere wisecracks. They're more sincere this time. Todd also cuts off BoJack at the end of the series, and settles down with Maud. He wasn't couch surfing because he was some bum, like his father or stepfather, if you want to be technical, thought, but he was couch surfing at least in part because he was needed by everyone, all the time. We get the impression that Jorge, his dad, is used to Todd antics, so I reckon this has been a running thing for years. And eventually, he was also needed by BoJack, and he stuck around.
I mean, you gotta have to get used to Todd antics. It's like the time he, like, pops out of BoJack's suitcase. It's like, Todd, what are you doing here? I don't know, sometimes I'm just places.
But not forever, thank goodness. All these characters should serve as encouragement to BoJack as a person. Princess Carolyn, a peer of his, made her life better despite how long it had been the same way in some respects. Diane made her life better despite how much she felt she didn't deserve it. Mr. Peanut Butter recognized he'd been repeating a cycle despite how long he'd been stagnant. Todd let himself slow down and have his own boundaries despite how long he'd had none. All the characters share these flaws to some extent, but BoJack exhibited all of these central character flaws very clearly, and as we see from how sympathetic and likable a lot of these other characters are, these major flaws don't make them bad people at all, nor was it too late for any of them to make better choices. BoJack Horseman as a show repeatedly—
I mean, it kinda is too late for BoJack, though. Like, he ends up in an alright spot by the end of the show, but it is a little too late for him to change. It's kind of why he thrives in jail. He's got somebody else, like, controlling his life.
Tells us that playing the victim doesn't excuse toxic behavior, even when you have been victimized. But it took BoJack Horseman, the character, until the last season to finally see that for himself. It's not too late unless you convince yourself it is.
Well, it's not too late. It's never too late.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been meaning to make a BoJack one for a while. Bit of a different tone, eh? If you liked it, feel free to check out the rest of my channel, and make sure to subscribe for more similar content. Bye-bye!
Yeah, like, everyone kind of distanced themselves from BoJack at the end. Oh, I meant to have this in the corner. Oh well. I have been working over here. Well, at least that wasn't as much of a disaster as I thought it would be. What else do you have videos on? I'm just curious. Total Drama Island. Again, a glazing drawn together while saying Hazbin is terrible. Offended that South Park is making fun of Trump. Oh good, the Static Shock racism episode. I definitely need your opinion on that. Brace Face. Surprise. I guess you're a South Park fan? You're a South Park fan! And you think Hazbin Hotel is too much. What the f- What is wrong with people? Is this because it has sincere gay writing in it? Oh god. She talked about Velma. Alright. I think... Yeah, the Greg video gave you cancer. I think it's we're probably done with Truffs until she does something absolutely nuts. I don't know. I might have some more Steven Universe reaction stuff for Wednesday. You guys are getting a poll tomorrow. I think I might know what will win, but we'll see. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't, but you still get to have a poll that you click on. I actually changed it so you can see my posts on my main page. You just go to my home page. You can see posts now. I wish we could pin posts. That would be great, but if you scroll down a bit, down like 3 sections, you can see my posts, so you can catch polls and things. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to vote on the bullshit I'm going to talk about on a given week. So, it's 5:14, in about 45 minutes, the Celtic Phoenix guys are going to be talking about Lily Orchard's view on the Sith and Star Wars.
At Dinah Battleman 29.99 sent a super chat. Missed last week's stream, so here's my jet lag tab.
Thank you.
Was in Iberia for vacation, but the Doug stream was an especially fun walk down memory lane.
Yeah, the Kakashi stream is now unlisted, because I had to re-upload it, so it's unlisted, but you can find it in my stream archive playlist and the Channel Awesome React playlist. You can just go to my playlist tab to find stuff like that. So yes, you guys are, hang on, let me see if there's any more super Okay, Summer Supers are good. So you guys are going to Celtic Phoenix. They're going to be lorchin' tonight. I'll probably be in the chat, hanging out too. So you guys are going to get redirected to them on YouTube right when this stream ends. So you can just keep the tab open, stick around, enjoy that when it comes up if you want to hear how stupid Lily Orchard is about the Sith. It's always fun. I think they've read her fanfiction before too, so it's definitely going to be great. So, thank you for all your super chats today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for putting up with me taking goddamn forever to work on these comic pages. Thanks for enjoying my No Man's Sky art. Thank you for all the Inco requests. And I will see you guys on Friday. Look forward to voting tomorrow, and goodbye.